becoming more pessimistic again. Indeed, if the forecasts are correct, he could find space for a pre-election tax giveaway of perhaps $7 billion and still maintain some fiscal headroom. But given his newly stated fiscal targets, it's not a huge or comfortable cushion. The main fiscal targets are as expected. He's targeting debt falling and current budget balance both on a 3-year rolling basis. Mr. Sunak will for sure be hoping he doesn't have to answer the question how to respond if forecasts change so that it looks like he'll miss them. He surely won't want to increase taxes even further, and it will be quite a policy reversal to abandon his promised spending increases. Maybe, like many other recent chancellors, he'd just live with missing the targets. The worry for the government is that for all the chancellor's upbeat delivery, the voters may not get much feel-good factor. High inflation, rising taxes, poor growth, still undermined more by Brexit than by the pandemic, will see real living standards barely rising, and for many, falling over the next year. So on public spending, the increases announced are genuine, they're real, they're substantial. No department is seeing a cut to its overall budget, no new defence a cut to current spending. Some, such as justice, which would have been braced for cuts, are getting big increases. There's money in the short term to support services with additional costs arising from COVID. In truth, it's bizarre that implausibly low totals were penciled in for next year in the first place. And the Chancellor has sensibly left himself with a bigger than usual reserve to be allocated at a later date. For many areas, though, spending will still be substantially less in 2024 than it was back in 2010. That will be true of justice and local government, for example. Perhaps the most striking contrast lies in what's happened to health and education spending. Over this spending review period, education spending is set to rise by about 2% a year, against 4% for health. Over the whole period since 2010, though, health spending will have increased by over 40%, education spending by less than 3%. For the Chancellor to have felt it appropriate to draw attention to the fact that per pupil spending in schools will have returned to 2010 levels by 2024 is perhaps a statement of a remarkable lack of priority afforded to the education system. A decade and a half with no growth in spending, despite some economic growth, is unprecedented. Spending per student in further education, sixth form college will remain well below 2010 levels. This is not a set of priorities which looks consistent either with long-term growth or indeed levelling up. One area that may still face a bit of a struggle is local government. Despite a real increase in spending power, tighter limits on what can be raised in council tax, the fact that grants are being frozen after next year, a continued failure to update funding formulae, and the demands of social care could still see some local authorities having to cut services. It's also worth noting that health spending was topped up again, partly because of a higher inflation forecast, partly because the OBR expects the health and care levy to raise more money. The latter is a nonsense. We can be sure of two things. The amount the NHS needs is entirely unrelated to how much the health and social care levy raises, and had revenues moved in the other direction, I think we can be fairly sure that NHS spending would not have been cut. Just one small irritation. There were lots of pre-briefings for extra money for health and skills over the weekend. They served only to obfuscate. I have to say, I think maybe the Speaker was unduly concerned about the Chancellor revealing too much early. The truth is the briefings revealed nothing, at least on those areas. On living standards, the Chancellor's presentation was upbeat. He claimed beforehand this was a budget to usher in a new age of optimism. But unfortunately for him and for us, the outlook for living standards doesn't match that upbeat tone. Over the next several years, a combination of tax increases and high inflation will mean very slow growth in living standards. A middle earner is likely to be worse off next year than this, as high rates of inflation and tax rises more than negate small average wage increases. And of course, that comes on top of a decade of historically feeble increases in real incomes. The gap between what we might have expected on the basis of pre-financial crisis trends, what is actually happening is staggering. Average gross earnings could have been even 40% higher had pre-crisis trends continued. The primacy of asset accumulation, the importance of asset holdings over the possibility of getting better off through earnings is being maintained well into a second decade. With, in the words of the OBR, inflation quite possibly hitting its highest rate in the UK for 3 decades, millions will be worse off in the short term. Next April, benefits will rise by just over 3%. Inflation could easily be 5%. That will be a real, if temporary, hit of hundreds of pounds a year for many benefit recipients. It reminds me of when I was studying in the 1980s, reading analyses from the 1970s of the hardship caused by inflation, when benefits and earnings increases lagged price rises. We're not in the 1970s levels of inflation, but we are now experiencing enough inflation that real pain will be felt as low-income households, most of whom have little in the way of financial assets, wait more than a year for their incomes to catch up. For some in work, of course, that may never happen. Two policies, though, will benefit many low earners. The first is the uplift in the national living wage. That's one of the few points of continuity between Chancellor Osborne and Chancellor Sunak. Though even the increase of over 6% will feel less generous if inflation is at 5% at that moment. Second, the cut in the universal credit taper and the increase in the work allowance will, as the Chancellor claimed, benefit around 2 million in-work recipients of universal credit. It'll be worth about the same as the £20 a week uplift to the full-time worker on the minimum wage. But one illustration of the trade-offs, a lone parent with just one child and a relatively modest rent will now have to earn well over £40,000 just to move off universal credit. The taper's been cut, but a lot more people will be affected by it, the inevitable trade-offs in the benefit system. Overall, the policies coming into effect in April will be highly progressive relative to the position today. Gains for low earners, and as a result of the national insurance and tax increases, losses for higher earners. It remains the case, though, working age benefit system is substantially less generous than it was in 2015. Since then, tax and benefit changes have hit the poor and favoured the better off. The position for those out of work, particularly those without children, remains precarious indeed. No increase in out-of-work benefits for the childless unemployed for half a century, leaving their living standards dramatically trailing those of the working majority. The gap between the generosity of the furlough system and the meanness of our out-of-work benefit system could hardly be more stark. So, unsurprisingly, given the scale of increases announced earlier in the year, the tax changes we heard about yesterday were modest, though Stuart will talk about them. A welcome reform to alcohol taxation, some modest tinkering with business rates and air passenger duty. The story of this budget, then, is one of spending increases and a worrying outlook for living standards. The story of the fiscal year as a whole also encapsulates those historic tax increases. In the end, Mr. Sunak has bowed to the demands created by public services which have suffered a decade of cuts and to the inevitability of increased spending on the NHS. If he is to achieve the ambition he set out at the end of his speech to get taxes down and reduce the size of the state, then he's going to have to come up with some pretty new and radical ways to manage those pressures. He'd be helped by an economy growing rather more enthusiastically than it's managed for some time now. Finding the key either to reforming public services to make them cheaper and more efficient, or to getting the higher economic growth, are challenges which have defeated most of his predecessors. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to hand over to Carl, then Ben, then Stuart, then Xiaowei. And please do ask questions on Slido, and we'll come to others as well at the end. Thank you.
Well, Paul Johnson, the IFS there, putting the headlines on the Institute for Fiscal Studies analysis of the budget, saying that the decision to raise taxes as much as they were was voluntary, although in his view it was justified to repair public services, particularly given the demands of an ageing population on health and social care. However, he said the outlook for living standards was not upbeat and there would be very slow growth. We can go live now to the House of Commons, where George Eustace, the Environment Secretary, is answering questions on the confrontation with France over fishing.
From French menus. France may go further and cut... Sorry.
Ask the question.
The honourable lady only has to ask the basic question. I will come back to her for a supplementary after the Secretary of State has answered it.
Speaker, my first urgent question, sir. To ask the Cabinet Secretary of State to speak to the possible mitigation of the French fishing dispute at the moment.
Secretary of State.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And the UK's and the Crown Dependency's approach throughout this year has been to implement the new access requirements of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement in good faith and in a reasonable and evidence-based way, recognising some of the sensitivities and the importance of these arrangements for both parties. Since the 31st of December last year, the UK has issued licences to fish in our exclusive economic zone to 1,673 EU vessels. This includes 736 French vessels. 121 vessels have been licensed to fish in the UK 6 to 12 nautical mile zone, of which 103 are French, and 18 of those vessels are under 12 metres. So the UK has licensed 98% of the EU vessels who applied for access. Constructive discussions with the Commission continue on a methodology for allowing vessels to be replaced, and once finalised, more vessels will be licensed. Over the past 2 weeks, the government has issued 4 further licences after the Commission was able to provide new and additional evidence. And we remain committed and willing to consider new information, and following receipt of more over the last couple of weeks, we've been able to issue more licences. So as I've said repeatedly to the French, to the European Commission, our door remains ever open. And in that context, Madam Deputy Speaker, it is very disappointing to see the comments that came from France yesterday. We believe these are disappointing and disproportionate and not what we'd expect from a close ally and partner. The measures being threatened do not appear to be compatible with the Trade and Cooperation Agreement or wider international law, and if carried through, will be met with an appropriate and calibrated response. Madam Deputy Speaker, yesterday I spoke to Commissioner Šefčovič regarding the comments that French officials have made. The UK stands by its commitments in the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, and as I've said, has already granted 98% of licence applications from EU vessels to fish in our waters. All of our decisions have been fully in line with this commitment. We also support Jersey and Guernsey's handling of the fisheries licensing decisions, and we've remained in close contact with them throughout. Their approach has also been entirely in line with the provisions of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I am aware of reports of enforcement activity being undertaken by the French authorities in respect of 2 vessels, and we are looking into these matters urgently.
Deirdre Brock.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and again, apologies for my over-enthusiastic start. Brexit-induced exporting changes have resulted in an escalating trading dispute, as we've heard with France, that if it is not resolved, may result in British boats being banned from French ports and Scottish salmon removed from French menus. We may see France go further and cut electricity supplies to the Channel Islands and delay French custom checks on goods arriving from the UK, further disrupting our economy. French officials, and I have to say there is a considerable difference between the numbers of licences that the Secretary of State has just given us and the number of licences that the French claim have been issued. French officials claim the process for obtaining a fishing licence to fish in UK waters is too slow and laborious, while Lord Frost has said these are only teething issues. France says that under the Brexit agreement, 175 French fishing vessels have the right to fish between 6 and 12 nautical miles off the British coast, but that the UK has delivered only 100 licences. Paris also says that only 105 licences to fish off Jersey have been delivered when French trawlermen have a right to 216. Today, French authorities, as we've heard, are to announce a sanction regime that will come into effect on November the 2nd. This follows news this morning of a Scottish trawler detained for fishing without a licence in French waters, according to France's Sea Minister, Annick Girardin, who announced this overnight. Can the Secretary of State confirm what consular assistance the government has been offering to the British fishing vessel crew currently arrested and detained by the French authorities? What support is his department giving to the vessel and its owners? In response to a topical to the member for Plymouth, Sutton and Devonport, the Minister mentioned the UK government couldn't confirm whether an external water licence was issued by the MMO. Why doesn't it appear on the list? It's too early to know what's happened, and it appears it may have been on the list, but DEFRA has had 12 hours to get to the bottom of this. We have a skipper of a Scottish scalloping vessel due in court in Lagarve this morning. It is simply not good enough that the Secretary of State doesn't have answers to those questions. What assurances can you give the House that appropriate documents were in place for the vessel that has now been seized, such as whether the vessel was issued with a licence to fish in French waters by the MMO? If so, when? If other UK vessels encounter French authorities, what is his advice? What is the permitted time French authorities are allowed to take to inspect seafood goods arriving from the UK via HGV? And what advice would he offer to seafood exporters who will be concerned about more stringent and additional checks the French are permitted to make, and stating that they will from November the 2nd, taking longer to clear HGVs while still keeping to permitted inspection rules could create significant delays?
Secretary of State.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And of course, it's important to note that although the Honourable Lady refers to this being a trade dispute over trading arrangements, what's actually happening here is the French are threatening to take a particular approach to trade, but linked to, as they see it, issues that they have over the issuing of fishing licences. And Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm afraid we completely reject that caricature.
77647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey listeners, this is Starr Radio UK.
It's gonna be alright, everybody. Yeah, little darling, don't you cry.
And a massive hello and good morning to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Today is Thursday, the 28th day of the month, October, the year 2021. Time now 10:44.
He will be there.
It is a very special morning. And I want to beseech you, my brethren, by the mercies of God, to share this broadcast with your friends and loved ones. But let me say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. Welcome to the show. And as I tell you all the times, there is nothing that a nice reggae tune in the morning will not sort out for you. And it's a special one from Makasi Brimpong. Everything's gonna be alright. So once again, welcome to the show. But let me say a special good morning to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, who has joined us. Pastor Chidi, I hope you're doing very well. It's been quite a long time seeing your face, but I hope that we'll be gathering pretty soon. Yes. Whilst we are here, let me tell you something. It is a Thursday edition of the morning show. Of course, I'm Archie. But let me say morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, Kojo D, wherever you are. Massive good morning to you. And to KB Bossman, who will be joining us this morning, or call it this afternoon, and a special guest who is going to be appearing on the show in the person of Charles Bissue of the MPP, the ruling party in Ghana, of the Western Region. He is the Western Regional Secretary. So there's going to be a lot of facets on this program today. But wherever you are, don't you touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. First time of tuning in to listen to us, let me just do a quick one there. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds. Yesterday, the Chancellor of the Exchequer presented a budget, and some are calling it something that is drifted from the old Tory style of budget. But well, people are still saying that it's going to hit our pockets badly. We'll be looking at that and a little more, or some more stories making the rounds across the globe. Then we'll move on from there exactly. At 11 o'clock, we're having Olayomi Koiki who will be bringing you updates from Nigeria. But today I'll be opening the lines a bit earlier. Exactly at 11:30, the lines will be open. So if you want to hop in to bring your view on any of the issues that we're discussing, feel free to do so. Then we'll go on from there. Exactement. At 12:15, we'll be having Mr. Charles Bissue. We're giving him some time to do some presentation of what the party is doing back in Ghana. I'll be interactive, throwaway interaction. KB Bossman, myself, Mr. Frank David, and all of us in there trying to make sense of what is happening in Ghana. Yes, and then at 1 o'clock, okay, and at 12:45, the lines will be reopening so that others can also join in the discussions as well. Then at 1 o'clock, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that is what's going to happen today. Once again, welcome to the show. To my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, let me say massive good morning to you, and thank you very much for all the hard work that you are doing. Okie dokie do. Felix, morning to you. Hope you are doing very, very well. Okay, so still going on. Let's have a look at the quote for the day. It says the best gift you can give another is prayer. Oh my, how true is that? Yeah, the best gift you can give another is prayer. You wish me well. It's very, very good for me. So wherever you are, my prayer this morning to you, for you, is that everything that you are going through today will be well with you. Thank you very much once again. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, so moving on straight to the weather front. It's been quite mild in the UK front. However, I'm going to tell you more about what is going to be happening. Well, for London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. This afternoon is expected to be mostly dry, cloudy, and breezy with some breaks in the cloud to give some sunny spells. Moderate southerly winds expected as well. And tonight, it will continue to be dry with clear spells in the early hours. It will tend to cloud over from the west with a band of rain slowly approaching towards dawn. Temperature 17 degrees, the lowest 13 degrees. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low. Sunset is going to be at 17:42, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:46 hours. And let me say a special good morning to Sister Gina Latte. We hope you are feeling much, much better. Yeah, the Lord is your strength. Okay then. So now let's move on to the travel update as well. As I'm saying, it is a very packed morning, and therefore we're going to crack on.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. Coming at 10:50 today. So, on the travel this morning, on the underground, there are minor delays between Moore Park and Watford, Amersham and Chesham due to train cancellation. Good service on all other routes. That aside, all the other underground lines, good service there. TFL Rail DLR London Tramlink, good service. Well, I can tell you shortly, on the river bus as well, good service throughout. Now, moving on to the National Rail, on the National Rail, special services for Avanti West Coast, First Transpennine Express, Northern Rail, and Scott Rail. They've all got special service, and Southwestern Railway has also got minor delays. So you got to check before you leave. But it is all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, moving on to the final segment of the travel update. That's the major roads in London. A10 have got closures, A4 closures, Central London Red Roads closures, South Circular A205 closures there as well. Well. Let me say once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep your eyes on that road.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
back to the program Star Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Olakunle Odua. Disrupting Anambra election poses serious consequences. Ohaneze tells IPOB. What do you think about that? That is some of the stories that we'll be looking at when it comes to updates from Nigeria, where we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in. But it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's look at some of the stories making the rounds here. Global trotting, as I say all the time, if you are sitting, hold on to something. You're standing, you better grab something, you know? It's going to be bumpy at times, but hey. The assurance is that you're going to get to your destination in peace, not pieces. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, moving on to the global trotting middle earners to be worse off next year. Oh my goodness. It says that Economic Research Group says many people will see their living standards fall over the next year. My goodness. My. There's no magic wand to solve rising prices, Sunak is saying. But we'll be looking into that story. We're ready to see whether we can have some of our economic analysts to come and have a look at some of the pointers there and throw more light on it. Star Radio UK. So did you listen to the budget statement, and how do you think it's going to impact you? Labour says making flying cheaper in the UK is an astonishing move ahead of COP26 climate summit. Of course, they have to make it cheaper. They want to boost the industry. What do we want? You know, we want to have a greener environment. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, we want things to be cheaper as well. You can have it both ways. Is that you are in or you are out? So whatever it is, oh well. Maybe I'm going to tell you now. You have to be. We all have to be vegetarians, you know. Me I've started having my veg. But the veg too. They're also living beings, Abby. All right then. Sorry, okay. And some of the other stories speaking of UK boat detained by France amid fishing rights row. A French minister says the boat did not have a license to fish in French waters and was seized. Well, the UK is threatening that, hey, you dare not do that. If you continue, we are going to be on offensive as well. It is Star Radio UK. I'm moving on straight to some of the Star stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. In Moscow, shops and restaurants shut in new lockdown. Russia closes non-essential services and sends workers home amid record COVID deaths. Wow, scary. Let me say good morning to Tosino in Moscow. Tosino, I hope you are keeping safe and doing well. And give us a shout out. Let us know that you are doing very, very well. I mean, the life of every one of our listeners is very essential to us. Okay. Polls show rising demands for climate action ahead of the COP26 polls find growing support for strong political leaders or leadership. But the question is, if price of goods and services are increased in your country or your community, would you want to cough up for it? Somebody say it's better for us to suffer now and enjoy it in the future. Who told you that there's going to be any future? All right, then, Star Radio UK. Now, New York schools have banned Squid Game Halloween costumes. The primary school have warned parents about the Netflix series Violent Messages. It's Star Radio UK. Well, China is saying that, well, there's not going to be any more skyscrapers. The decision is being seen as part of a larger bid to crack down on vanity projects. Star Radio UK. Global trotting. General Miley's comment were the first U.S. acknowledgement of claim China tested a hypersonic missile. And that's what they're saying. Chinese launch very concerning, says U.S. General. And the DNA has confirmed a man is sitting Bull's great-grandson. A sample of the Native American leader's hair confirms the identity of his great-grandson. Well, it's interesting one there. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now moving on to the other parts of the world as well. Now, Israel has advanced plans for 3,000 new settlers' homes. The move follows a strong public rebuke of Israeli policy from U.S. President Biden's administration. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A Saudi prince suggested killing King ex-official Mohammed bin Salman discussed assasinating the late King Abdullah in 2014. Saad Al-Jabri says. Oh wow. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10:59 the time. At 11 o'clock, we have Olayomi bringing you updates from Nigeria. But wherever you are, don't you go away. Just stay tuned. Now in South Africa, is to deploy 10,000 troops for local polls. The voters will on Monday elect municipal councillors and mayors in a test for the ANC. Still on the African front, African Union World Bank suspends Sudan over military coup. Was it last Monday or Tuesday when we were having a show, and then myself and Frank, we were discussing what the statement or the stance of the AU has been. But well, this morning our information has come through that they are also saying that they are suspending Sudan. It is Starr Radio UK. Malian authorities have arrested Issa Kawo Njim, vice president of the country's interim parliament, for making subversive remarks on social media, two legal sources have said. Njim, an influential figure in the conflict-ridden Sahel state, was arrested in the capital Bamako on Tuesday, according to a court official who requested anonymity. The official added that the lawmaker was arrested over subversive remarks without offering further details. Well, we'll be following that story. The unrest in that part of the world is quite worrying, but we'll be bringing you more on that front. Retired midwife, 3 others busted over child stealing, sale of babies. I remember in the past few, I think months there have been this occurrences of babies missing, stolen, and stuff like that. Well, I think the security agencies have been able to bust a retired midwife and 3 others for child stealing. Let's see how that will resolve that issue. And then Kufuor respects chiefs. They didn't mean to attack Togbi Fiti, Wabin Asamoah says. And then the Speaker of Parliament says, stop wasting your money on your constituents. Wabin admonishes MPs. But you know that when it comes to our culture, our political culture, democratic culture, we always want to, what do you call them? The voters or the constituents always want something from their reps before they vote for them. So, if they don't spend those monies, how do they get into power? If they spend those monies and they don't get voted in there, that is where Bagbin is saying that, well, he is very worried about that because it makes some people, some ex-politicians, puppets later on in their lives. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. This and a lot more we'll be looking at in the course of the program. But we're going to be taking a break. As I said earlier on, from 12 o'clock we'll be having a very, very special guest in the studio. He'll be gracing the studios with his presence in the name of Mr. Charles Bissue. He's the Western Regional Secretary for the New Patriotic Party. Okay, so
Take it away, Vivi.
we take a quick break. We come back and we'll be having Miss Olayomi joining in with updates from Nigeria. I am Archie, and this is Starr Radio UK, your Thursday edition of the morning show.
Your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Yes, we should have Miss Olayomi joining us pretty soon, but some of the stories that we'll be looking at from Nigeria this morning, let me bring you some of the headlines, and then once he comes on, we'll just be able to just go through them. Okay, so first and foremost, disrupting a Anambra election poses serious consequences. Oheneze tells IPOP, and then the Apex Igbo Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Oheneze Ndigbo, on Wednesday appealed to the indigenous people of Biafra to consider or reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home order in the southeast from November 5th to November 11th. Now, what do you think is going to be the reaction of the people in that part of Nigeria? Are they going to abide by it? So far we know that they've been abiding by the rules of the IPOP, sitting at home on Mondays, but are they going to be sitting at home from the 5th to the 11th? Are we going to see that? Well, the Air Force officials on BRT lane kill Lagos artist of family 200,000 naira. The family of an artist Ifeanyi Kalu has been thrown into mourning after personnel of the Nigerian Air Force accused of driving on the bus rapid transit lane crashed him in an accident. Well, what do you think is going to happen there? We're trying to get Mr. Olayomi on now. Yummy, call us back. I think I missed your call. Call us back, and he's going to be throwing more light on that. After 48 hours, eNaira app removed from Google Store amid criticism. What? eNaira, that was something good, so that people don't need to carry huge sums of money when they're going to transact business. But hey, 48 hours on, and it's been removed. What do you think about all that? We'll be looking at those details in a moment. And I can tell you, we have got Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who is in our North London studios this morning, bringing you updates from Nigeria. So let me say good morning to you, Yummy.
Good morning back to you in the studio, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear. We can hear you. Just bear with me. Okay. How are you doing, sir?
Well, it's been a very beautiful morning. Doing very well after the great show yesterday with all our listeners from different part of the globe. We were saying thank you very much once again on Niger Voices. But I'm doing very well, as you can see, out again in the beautiful outskirts of North London, where we're transmitting from. And I say good morning again to those that are watching us from different part of the globe.
Okay. Yes. Now, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let's crack on. Now, first of all, the first story that we were looking at, the instructions by the IPOP that the indigenous people call it the Igbo area should stay at home from the 5th to the 11th of November. Now, first of all, how have they taken it? Do you think that they're going to abide by it? Especially looking at the man they sit down, which they have been abiding by it like religiously. Do you think this time round for 6 days are they going to be able to do that?
Well, the belief of so many of the followers of the leader of the indigenous people, IPOP, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, believes that until the federal government release him unconditionally, then they might have to kickstart the 6-day sit at home, which I believe will start just I think around November the 4th, if the deadline given to the federal government. I'm not sure the federal government is going to listen to that. I mean, we've seen the effective of the sit at home. Where even some of the states like Anambra State have decided to move a Monday lecture to a Saturday morning lecture for most of the schools. It's not just the whole Southeast that goes paralyzed on Monday, even the bank, and the government offices, because nobody's moving, not because of any reason more than, not that some of them want to sit at home, but when you look at the transport system that might be shut down, if you compare to UK as an example, in England, here in London, the transport system is controlled by the mayor of London, and you can easily say that there's no way a particular group or a particular individuals will shut down the transport system here in London. But it is the opposite in Nigeria. Most of the transport system in most part of the country is a private owned. So yes, I believe that those orders will be listened to. I've listened a video that have just come up to me just about some few minutes before coming on air, and as you know that some of the politicians are still campaigning. It's even to the extent that what I saw in that video is while the campaign of the PDP in a particular district in Anambra State, you could hear the sound of holy, holy, Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. And, the campaign just couldn't go ahead. We saw one of the other political parties took his campaign away from Anambra to Lagos State, and he was also bullied. So that tells you that, the election November 6th is going to be a very tough one between, the IPOP and the citizen and the federal government.
Interesting. Now, do you think that the citizens are taking it reluctantly, or they just love to, support Kanu, and that's why they are going on? Maybe because they are scared of what maybe the IPOP, the military wing, might do to them. That's why they decide to stay at home. Or do you think they are in full support? Majority of them, of course.
Well, I've listened to most of the the broadcasts coming from the IPOP, and there's no one that I've been told to attack anyone, whether those that prefer not to sit at home, it is kind of on your own free will. But most of them have decided to take it on board, to sit at home while their leader is still being held, all the way in Abuja. So it is not that a lot of the citizens in Southeast are scared. It's just that, they believe that, sacrificing that one day, for the leader that have sacrificed more for them, it is worth sitting at home. So yes, there have been a lot of campaign, and I've seen even some individuals that, try to attack during some of the sit at home that have commenced since Nnamdi Kanu has been brought back to Nigeria. But most of those individuals have also been punished, by those, coordinating things in the Southeast. So it is not because, the federal government has tagged them as a terrorist organization, but also, it is because the federal government has done so, in trying to portray them as the enemy of the state, rather than sitting down with them and dialogue with them and have a conversation. And those that are the real terrorists terrorizing millions of Nigerians, the federal government refused to categorize them as the real terrorists.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, this sad story about some military, the Nigerian Air Force, driving on the wrong side of the road, crashing somebody, and paying the family 200,000 naira. Now, that amount, is it? Do you think that it compensates what action they took, or what happened there?
Well, what is 200,000 naira? Let's just bring that, to what the exchange rate, this morning, which is about 785 naira. So you're looking at just about 270 pounds given to somebody that has been killed, by the security or the Air Force officials on one of the public transportation in Nigeria. It's quite sad that it's not the first time that such incident has happened. But what we can tell you is if the family of an artist known as Ifeanyi Kalu has been thrown into mourning after the personnel of the Nigerian Air Force accused of driving on the bus rapid transit lane in Lagos crushed him. And you will wonder that, these are the kind of, the corruption, that everybody puts on, especially those in uniform in Nigeria, thinking that, they are more superior, they are more better off than the average Nigerian. So what do we know? According to information, Ifeanyi was on his way to work in Ilupeju area of Lagos State when this incident happened. His remains have been deposited at the mortuary at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Lagos. Describing Ifeanyi's death as a big loss to his family, one of the actors, Segun Adefila, said he was killed 2 months after his mother's death. He noted that the 31-year-old left behind 6 siblings, a father. In a post on his Facebook page, Adefila wrote, Ifeanyi was a young Nigerian artist who was in a statue but gigantic in stride. His life was one huge struggle for survival without a thought for crime, but through a dent of hard work. This is just an average Nigerian trying to struggle within the confinement of a country where inflation has risen, insecurity, and he wasn't killed by terrorists, but he was killed by a man in uniform representing the federal government of Nigeria.
Well, somebody will say it was an accident that happened. It wasn't deliberate. So we'll see what happens on that front. But it is Starr Radio UK. Let's go back to Yomi for some more of the updates from Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Archie. 28th of October 2021 is exactly 17 minutes past the hour on a very beautiful outskirt of London, where we are reporting from this morning. It is just under 3 days before the National Working Committee of the PDP change over. There's a lot of issues around it as well. PDP moves to save convention pressure as secondos over suit. The People's Democratic Party has yet to file a response to the appeal filed by suspended chairman Uche Secondos before the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, according to information. At the last hearing on Tuesday, the PDP lawyer asked for time to respond to the appeal filed by the Secondos, but the court refused to grant their request, stating that the suit was time-bound in view of the National Convention of the party, which is scheduled for this weekend to be held on Saturday and Sunday. The court consequently gave opposition party 24 hours to file it. According to the INEC, you must change over these national bodies within each of the political parties, and there's still wrangling between some of these actors in this political party. Let's take a look at some of the other headlines. $418 million deductions suspended as federal government statement for PEC today. There was a strong indication yesterday that the federal and the state government had agreed to the suspension of the deduction of almost $480 million Paris Club refund from the state and the local government account pending the determination of a court case. What do we know? The Paris refund came to Nigeria. Some of the money was distributed, across, each of the, 36 states. But eventually, those that, like a consultation fee that should have been paid, is now why that $480 million is stuck somewhere. According to the information, it was, however, not clear if the decision to suspend the deduction would affect the October revenue collection, but it was gathered that the federal government had already issued promissory note on the consultant to pay. The Ekiti State Commissioner for Finance, Akin Oyede, that issue of deduction had been resolved. The commissioner, who did not give details of the resolution, also confirmed that the FEC would either meet, which was yesterday or today, Thursday. He also reiterated the demand of the state for the separation of the Office of Accountant General and also the Federation of the Office of Accountant General of the federal government. So what I'm trying to explain there is, money that was returned back, it seems somehow, the government is trying now to deduct that money back from some of the states, and some of those states are not really pleased with that as well. So that is, what it means. The country in 2006 paid $12 billion to get $18 billion debt write-off by the Paris Club of International Creditors. State and local government that did not hold the Paris Club later asked for a refund when they realized that the payment was made directly from the revenue accruing to the entire federation. There were reports that some consultants who claim a percentage of the refund as payment for services, they said they rendered to the state, and the local government went to court to demand it. The federal government had negotiated an out-of-court settlement with the contractors to the tune of $480 million was agreed on the judgment. So that's just the background, to that particular headline. Let's touch on two other headlines, and I'm going to come back again to you in the studio as we continue. Buhari has strong will to fight corruption, according to the ICPC chairman. The chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commissioner, Professor Bolaji Owosonuyo, SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, had said the President Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired as a strong political will to fight corruption in Nigeria. During the presentation of a paper titled Anti-Corruption Legislation, Policies and Practices, how they align with the UNECA Anti-Bribery Convention and other regional conventions on preventing and combating corruption at the 26th Interpol Global Program on Financial Crimes and Asset Recovery in Abuja. We saw that has been trending on the social media now. A bra that was meant to belong to the former petroleum minister Desaini, worth almost some tune of $12 billion dollars. And you wonder how $12 million rather, staggering amount of money that was stolen during her tenure as the petroleum minister. She ended up buying some of the most expensive bras around the globe, and this is now going into auction according to the federal government. I'm come back again in one more, and then we look into some of those conversations. It's exactly 22 minutes past. It's still Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Crisis. Osinbajo, the Vice President of Nigeria, lawmakers and others lead national prayer today. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the leadership of the National Assembly, led by President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, the ministers, leaders in political, religious, and economic spheres, and hundreds of Christians drawn from various parts of the country are expected to attend the annual Christian Legislator Fellowship National Breakfast Prayer Meeting scheduled for today. The prayer section with the theme Faith in Christ in Time of Crisis will take place at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Addressing the newsmen, the CLF President, Senator Emmanuel Bawachi, the Taraba Senator representing PDP, disclosed that Bishop David Abioye of the Living Faith Chapel will be the guest speaker. He explained that the team was chosen to find solution to economic, political, social, and many other challenges currently bedeviling the country. So again, Osibajo, lawmakers will be leading prayer today to resolve some of the economic, political, and insecurity in Nigeria. Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Interesting headlines from Nigeria. But the vice president is organizing prayer meeting. I mean, it's going to be part of it. It's not the one organizing per se. It is something that they've been doing. How long have they been doing this?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for some time now, and I mean, even the president, according to report coming from Saudi Arabia, is also doing similar as well, praying for the insecurity, economic of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I might just want to touch on that, then we can look at it all together.
Yeah.
According to what we are getting from, remember the president is still in Saudi Arabia as we speak right now, but the information coming from Saudi Arabia says Buhari enter the Saudi mosque, pray for Naira to appreciate, banditry to end.
Yomi, I can't contain my laughter. Well, we know the measures that have to be taken to make sure that things are stopped. We don't do that, and we just want to just say, okay, now let's bury our heads in the sand and just go to the temples to go and pray. Then I get very, very worried. People perish for lack of knowledge. You have the knowledge, you know what to do, you got to get on with it. But well, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Maybe somewhere, somehow that will hold the Naira up, to prop the Naira up, and then the insecurity issue that is going on in Nigeria will also stop. But whatever it is Star Radio UK. Don't touch the dial. We'll still have Mr. Olayomi because he keep bringing you more on that front. But insecurity, Governor Bello wants military operation extended to Niger State. Now,
Niger State.
Yeah. Why? Is it now getting to a point where they want to just, like we were saying the other time, that they should, some of the governors were saying it should be labeled as terrorism so that now we can get the military full attention on it. Do you think that is what he's calling for there as well?
Well, I mean, when we look at Niger State, just as so many states, among the 36 states in Nigeria, it has also been riddled with so many atrocity of the terrorists within the boundaries of that state as well. Just some few days ago, terrorist Niger State senator asked security agency to invite Sheikh Gumi, that have said that if you label them as terrorists, you would eventually have to expect more jihadis influx into the country, which they already as well. Some 20 hours ago, terrorists demanded 60 million naira to free Niger State worshippers. Again, about 3 days ago, the resident lament as terrorists kidnapped 10 persons in Niger State. Some almost 18 persons reportedly lost their life when terrorists attacked a mosque in Mazakuku in Niger State just this week, Monday, the 25th of October. So you can see why the governor is saying now it is time to also extend more security personnel to the state as well. But what the government is actually doing is, rather than putting security architect in the northeast and the northwest where there's pressure, they are moving the security to the southeast to suppress those they label as the IPOB members.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, or you can text or WhatsApp it to us, and I promise you we're gonna read that. Okay, but let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds there as well. The federal FCT warns traditional rulers against influx of foreign miners. Now in Ghana, we've had this problem where they are claiming the Chinese are there doing illegal mining, which we call it galamsey and stuff like that. Is it the same thing that is happening in Nigeria, and that's why this FCT is calling for warning the traditional rulers?
Well, I mean, we've seen influx of different people coming into Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria has about almost close to 2,000 porous border. What does that mean? You can literally walk into Nigeria from other neighboring country, no check by immigration, no check by anyone, and you could live in Nigeria, and then nobody knows where you're coming from. I mean, I remember during my stay when we were in Nigeria for that 6 months, we were traveling from some of our remote area, and I had that evidence. I have the video still in my archive with me. And we released a statement as at that time. We were able to see almost 10 different nationalities living within the axis of Okeogun. And what were they doing? They were doing what we call kusa. Kusa in the Yoruba, translating back to English, is gold mining. So you can tell that, and some of them were as far as coming from Senegal. They're Senegalese. Some were coming from Niger. And the question then is, how did they get into the country in the first place? So according to that headline, the Federal Capital Territory Minister for State, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, has cautioned graded traditional rulers in the FCT against harboring any foreigner in the guise of mining activities. She said such could create security threat within their respective domain. And this was actually happening as well within some of the Yoruba land as well. Like I said, I remember vividly well, visited this particular ballet, with Chief Sunday Igboho during that time. And, the question was, how do you allow people to continue to mine and create more havoc to some of the farmers within the boundary? Because what actually happened was, the reason why we went there was about 5 people were killed a day before after we went there. The killings happened on a Sunday. We went there on a Monday, and the reason why those farmers were killed was because those that were digging those particular areas just did not want anybody within the axis. We paid a custom visit to the ballet to explain to him why they've allowed people, to continue to mine. What he was able to tell us was some of them have been known within the community, but they've also allowed more people to join them that the community does not know. So that becomes a security threat. And this is what is happening, as the FCT minister is saying, not just in FCT, it's happening in the Yoruba land, it's happening in the southeast of the country, and this is creating a lot of havoc. When you go to Zamfara State, they are literally doing all the mining that the governor has agreed to, and saying that the mining of gold there belongs to Zamfara, does not belong to any other state. And that has also created more killings in that region of the northeast as well.
Wow, interesting. We saw that happening in Ghana, and the government had to, crack the whip to make sure that people do things the right way. But listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, 11:31 from London here with Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. Let me say good morning, or he says good afternoon. Tosino Nash Olayomi, all the way in Moscow. Tosino, how are you doing? He said we are in real mess in that country. He's talking about Nigeria there. Tosino, I hope that you are quarantining, or whether you are protecting yourself there, because we've heard that there is a rise in the COVID infection in Russia. So we say, take good care of yourself there. But let me go back to Yomi for some of the other stories and what is going on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
124 years after Cambridge University hands over Benin bronze crockery to Nigeria, Okuko stolen from the Asian kingdom in 1897 by the British colonial forces. The Jesus College at Cambridge University, London, has handed over to Nigeria the Okuko, a sculpture that was looted by the British troops in 1897, setting a precedent expected to put pressure on other institutions to return stolen artifacts. The handing over documents were signed yesterday during a ceremony at the college to transfer ownership of the Okuko to the Nigerian delegation. London-based Daily Mail reported that the sculpture of the Kokri was one of hundreds of the Benin bronze piled from the Kingdom of Benin in Nigeria. The college legacy of slavery working party concluded in 2019 that the Kokri belongs to the current Obas at the court of Benin. Shedding more light on this development, in the brief telephone conversation yesterday, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said the campaign to return stolen artifacts commenced in 2018. Lai Mohammed said he had traveled to London to engage the Secretary of Art and Culture over the Ife bronze, which was stolen from the museum in Jos and was thereafter sold to an art collector in Belgium. You can see how, stolen of some of these artifacts have been moving from one part of the continent to the other as well. So let's go straight to some of what is happening on the social media today. It doesn't seem to be going well with the e-naira, as there's a lot of complaint around the e-naira, and that means a lot of people putting that complaint has now put Google to remove the application out of their Play Store as we speak right now. So that is not going well with the federal government, I guess. But let's look at some of the other headline as well. According to this, see this man is called Senator Effiong, a senator from Eket Senatorial District, who said insecurity in Nigeria is exaggerated. It looks like people are just talking about it. That is not the actual situation on ground. But I can confirm that the Nigerians are now sleeping with their two eyes closed under Buhari. Well, he has been kidnapped now for more than 2 months. Dead or alive, nobody knows where he is. This was a senator that was saying the media, the citizens were just, putting a kind of too much emphasis on the situation on ground. 2 months down the line, nobody knows where he is as we speak right now. Also, top ISIS commander to visit ISWAP Lake Chad bases to support terror in Nigeria. That is also coming from the headline as well. I've listened to one of the interview of the legal representative of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that flew from America in terms of the support and why he is on ground to facilitate and look into the reason why the Nigerian government kidnapped and the rendition. So that interview is worth looking into as well. Also coming up, the beautiful Okoko bronze being returned to Nigeria today, stolen in 1897 by the British colonial forces. I'm going to send a picture of that to you, so that maybe you can be able to put it out there for those that might want to have a better look at it in terms of what it looks like. It's more like a hen, a cockerel. So I'm sure for those that might want to have a good view. I mean, it's good to know that these items that was stolen as far back as 1897 has finally returned to where it belongs, which is not United Kingdom, but rather belongs to the community that owns it as well. So let's take maybe two more, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio, and then we can start winding down as well. There's a picture that I've got here in front of me, and the conversation around it says, in Nigeria, when you see policemen with a young man at the cash machine, the police are extorting him, robbing him of his money, and that is then emptying his bank account. So there's a two police officer with a young man next to the ATM machine, and I'm sure you all understand what that means. And the last one that I've got here again says, we talked about the United Nations requesting more background to why Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, rendition from Kenya, from Nigeria as well. Why is the e-naira media team using a Twitter account from 2015 to front a project launched in 2021? And why are they using Twitter when Twitter is officially banned in Nigeria? What sort of anyhowness is that with a question mark?
Listeners, it is interesting coming from Nigeria. But when it comes to that, the Okuko, okay, where is it going to be kept? Is it going to be kept in the state, the federal museum, if they have anything of the sort, or is it going to go to the original owners? That is,
when these items are returned, it's definitely going to be returned back to the palace or somewhere within the palace where it's going to be kept, and then that way it can have more preservation and security around it as well. Because I'm sure, returning it back to Nigeria might also have some interest of element of people that might want to take it back again and sell it off back again to the Western world.
Well, listen, Starr Radio UK. Let me read some of the comments that have come through. Totino says everywhere is calm, but always put your face masks. That's crazy. He's talking about what is happening in Moscow, where he is at the moment, pertaining to the COVID. Yeah, he said, I laugh in Chinese. Okay, I laugh in Chinese. Everything about Nigeria is a scam. Oh my goodness. And then from Sotikari Ayodele Tunde, he says, Starr Radio UK, you must understand that this station is one of the reliable and true stations we listen to. Thank you very much. Please, is there any information the people that were killed in Igboho's house as per true justice? When I finish, I think Yomi might be able to throw more light if there have been any information pertaining to that. Those
is
two
it
people,
the bodies or the 12?
The two who were killed. Is asking.
Well, I mean, from information, we've listened to interview of one of those that were taken away with the DSS and the Nigerian security during the assassination attempt on Chief Sunday Igboho's house on July 1st by the federal government of Nigeria. He has explained to us after being interviewed what happened actually. When they came into the premises, there was no exchange of guns with the authority when they came into the Igboho's house, as against what the DSS was telling Nigerians during their own press conference. Also, the two individuals that were killed, one of them was just about to have his prayer at that time in the morning as a Muslim, which is probably what we call a night vigil prayer, and he was shot dead. And the other one was hit with a multiple, mortar until he eventually died. What he then said was, two of those bodies moved with them as well. When after the operation of about 4 hours at Chief Sunday Igboho's house, while he was able to escape, even though they wanted to kill him in the house, they got to Ekiti State at the DSS office. The vehicle that had the dead bodies drove out of the premises, and then by the time he returned back, the dead bodies were not there. So the individual that spoke to that media says he's particularly sure that the two dead bodies might be kept in the mortuary in Ekiti State, which is the southwest of the country in Nigeria. The question then is, why is the dead body of those that were killed without exchange gunfire with the federal with the authority that came into the house are still being kept in somewhere probably in Ekiti, or maybe they've moved it again. But the question then is, when are they going to release the dead body? 12 of those have been released. The last two spent 114 days. One of them was a female, and the only offense that she has committed was using her social media to enlighten, to educate, and discuss the issues surrounding Nigeria, and telling the Yorubas to go into self-determination. That is our offense. After 114 days, we can only say we give thanks that she's back now, but the two dead bodies is still in the hands of the federal government of Nigeria.
Okay, so Tikari, so I hope that it answers some of the questions that you posed. We'll try to do some more investigation as and when we find some more information, we're putting it across. Thank you very, very much. Yummy, before you go.
Well, don't touch the dial. Remember to keep tuned to Starr Radio UK, and later on tonight is going to be the property hour. Make sure you tune in as well. But if you're sending money home to Nigeria, remember to use SendWaves. Remember to use the Starr code, which is X for Starr, R for Radio. And for me, I'll be back again tomorrow. But for now, I say have a very good morning from wherever you're watching.
Good morning to you, Yomi. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I announced earlier on, with the time now 11:41, we'll be having our special guest who is already in the house. He's already in the house. He will be joining us pretty soon, just after 12 o'clock. But at the moment, I've got with me my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Frank Davis, in the house as well. Let me acknowledge him and then we go on. Frank, morning to you.
Archie, good morning and good morning to our listener. Olayomi, thank you for the good job.
How are you?
Archie, I'm doing very well.
Let me say good morning to Charlotte as well. She's sending lots so that I can see the likes. Charlotte Odum, good morning to you. Yes, he said the Renew Show is live today. Yes, the Renew Show will be live exactly at 5 o'clock with Charlotte Odum. Okay. Did you follow the?
Yes, I followed the submission and the news. One that I wanted to pick on more was the situation that is happening fast in what they call Moscow.
Yeah.
They locked down. We understand that look, they've gone to a lockdown again. Do not forget, it's a country that developed it through vaccine.
Yeah.
And like all other countries, we saw Israel that had a vaccine or was hailed as the front liner when it came to vaccination.
Yet,
I mean, vaccinating about 99% of its population earlier on, celebrating Pfizer, had to come back to lock down and take certain measures. So the question we then have to start asking, with these vaccines, what is the end game? How long, how are we going to be? I mean, if you look especially at developing countries, is it a situation where we're going to be having every year we're going to allocate
or something
our monies to import these vaccines into the country? If that is the case, then I think we need to be following the likes of Uganda, who are now putting in place their own internal, yes, they are receiving vaccine from outside, but they've gone ahead to develop their own
vaccines.
Herbal remedy to treat COVID. COVID has been licensed by the government, by the drug authority.
Is it potent?
It's potent. That is being used now officially. As I speak to you now, Dr. Malaria, who actually spearheaded that research into development of COVID in Uganda, is in Ghana as part of the delegation to attend the third annual IDO convention, which is taking place in Ghana as we started yesterday, and it will finish on the 31st, which is next 3 days. So Dr. Malaria is actually in Ghana now to demonstrate the covers, to showcase the covers. Accompanying him is the second deputy prime minister of Uganda, who also arrived in Ghana yesterday. So the question here is, look, we've seen countries that even develop this vaccine. Here, Moscow is going back to lockdown. Understanding that when you take the vaccine, we should be okay to open the economy without this. What is going to be the game for African countries? Especially if we depend and we have to be spending millions of dollars, because it's just a matter of time that they will tell you the donations that they are giving us will not be
over now. You have to now buy yourself.
If you're going to have booster that for how long? I think we might have to look at if we can have alternative antiviral treatments in Africa. If we don't do that, we're going to have a problem.
What about having the patency to be able to
produce that would have been because if you take Ghana for instance, the likes of NS Chemist, Kinapharma, Danet and others have the potency, the capability to be able to produce some of all those things. But the question is, will these people give you the license? We know how long it took them to give antiretroviral license to these people. The good thing that the good sign, however, is that if you take a country like Senegal, they have been licensed to produce their own lesson. Can we, or should we tell African countries to pursue? Would that be the best thing to pursue? Would that be the best thing to pursue? If not, we're going to be having a big problem with that, because we can't continue to be spending our money. I mean, just importing these drugs as a direct result of COVID, because from what is looking, COVID is going to be with us for
a very long time.
Long time. Quite a long time. If we can develop alternative medicines, or probably this has to do with immune system. If that's what it is, then can we have remedies within our system or from our local industries? What I heard about, I mean, that are very potent. I heard there was I think a herbal or someone submitted something to Ghana, for instance, Food and Drug Board for testing and other things. Let's hope that goes through. Because if that goes through and is found to be potent enough, because I'm concerned that it's going to get to a point where it becomes a necessary case on us that we need to be chunking out a lot of our money to import this on the advice of what do you call it, booster. Because the Hispanic that we're going to buy, they had it in Russia. But here's the case: they are reporting that they are having levels of death.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:47. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, I'm Archie. Now let's quickly move on to some other stories. But like I said, we'll be having Mr. Charles Bissue joining us in the next few minutes, where he will be looking. We'll be looking into Ghana and some of the events there. He's from the ruling party. That's the NPP. He's a Western Regional Secretary, and we'll be having a chat with him. He's a secretary, so he will know, or will have more to say about issues that is going on there. All right, then. So stay tuned, don't you go away at all. But now let's quickly have a look at some of the stories that has made the rounds here in the UK and other parts of the world. Now, yesterday. Okay, let me bring this breaking news. The organizer of the flight that killed footballer Emiliano Sala found guilty of endangering the safety of an aircraft. Let me bring it again. Breaking news coming through. The organizer of the flight that killed footballer Emiliano Sala found guilty of endangering the safety of an aircraft. We'll bring you more details as it comes through. Okay, now millions to be worse off in 2022, says think tank. And it's all pertaining to the budget statement that was made yesterday by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I was saying all the time, giving with the left and taking with the right, or giving with the right and taking with the left. But he sort of drifted from what the Tories would normally do, hard, not caring for the poor or the needy in society. Let's just get on, and businesses. I mean, but you see a bit of a shift. But still, they are saying that the middle class are going to suffer greatly.
Yeah, actually, even before the budget yesterday, the Office of Fiscal Responsibility came out yesterday to suggest that Brexit is having a very detrimental effect on the economy of the UK, even more than the COVID. And yesterday, the European mission also made such a statement that Brexit has been catastrophic when you look at the consequences what UK is suffering from. The certain example of the fuel prices that was very unique. I mean, you didn't have it in other part of Europe. You're talking about labor shortage and other, and all these are going to affect level of productivity, whether we like it or not.
Of course.
Now you look at the budget statement. I've not gone through the whole this thing, but a few bits that I pick. If you look at what it was saying, we know. And what the national insurance contribution
is going to go up.
And what he put in there for workers, actually, if you do the calculation, it doesn't add up and it doesn't help. They're telling you when you are basically on a universal credit, you are working tax credit and other things. First, it gets to a point where you have, for every 60p that you earn, something is taken out. Now they've lowered it to 50p. So that 10p difference. Now you look at it, how much you accumulate over there. If you work 35 hours a week and you look at how much you are being paid, how much will you accumulate over there compared to one, the prices that have gone up, two, the NI that has gone up, actually is negative. It's negative. So I quite agree with them. I mean, the middle class are going to suffer more. One would have thought that probably they'll be thinking of raising a bit of tax on the higher income learner. That's a conservative area that was kept tight. Nothing that much. We keep on hearing about rhetoric, about what they call a lot of companies that are not paying tax over here. But this has been said over 10 years now. So actually, I mean, we all have to tighten our belts.
We all have to tighten our belts.
One key thing that people were looking at is whether the VAT was going to be
removed from the fuel,
the energy. At least a bit of played with. But
nothing was
done about it.
Well, they said they're not going to increase the tax on the fuel.
Actually, I mean, if you take fuel, if you take a typical gallon of fuel, price of fuel on diesel, tax makes up over 50%. The tax component of the fuel we buy is about 70-something% on the fuel in this country. Now, if you look at it, if you look at it, sorry about that.
Listeners, whilst Frank's try to sort that out,
if you look at that's doctor.
Okay.
If you look at there was a mechanism that every year that percentage goes up a little bit. So that's what they are holding. That is not going to increase. But as we speak now, the quantum of taxes front loaded on the fuel we buy is so huge. So if you're going to help us, actually, last year, how much were we buying fuel? We were buying fuel around £1 something. Today, is
yesterday 13, £1.13 or £1.
Yesterday I bought fuel 149. 149. That's what I
per
bought.
Liter.
Per liter. 149 per liter. That's what I bought it from yesterday. So at the end of the day, and there's no ending to it. You don't know when. I mean, it's good. Some of these, the companies need to make money. They need to increase the prices of, the wages of our brothers and sisters who are truck drivers, haulage drivers, and other things. They need to pass on that to consumers. And who are the consumers? The drivers.
Wow, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 7 minutes to 12, which we will be having Mr. Bissue pretty soon. Now, household face 3,000 hit after budget measures and tax rises. One think tank, that is what they are saying. But today, it's most likely that the governor of the Bank of England is also going to increase interest rate. What is your prediction there? Do you think it's going to go maybe up to 5%, 3%, or it's just going to be so small?
Let's say
shift.
No, they cannot increase this over more than
1% or
a half percentage point. I mean, if anything at all, it's going to be half percentage point. You know, and the way the financial system works over here, even 0.25%, a quarter of a percent, is something that is very substantial. They can't. I cannot see how they're going to go past half a percentage point. No.
Okay. Quickly, a British trawler has been seized by France, and another has been fined amid the escalating row over post-Brexit fishing rights. I mean, you've been talking about that the Brexit itself is hitting the economy badly, as some of the experts are saying. But this is a banter, and the UK are also telling the French that, hey, if you don't release those boats, we are going to also
actually, that's political noise. That is political noise. That's political noise. Look, I heard David Frost. Is it Dave or Dave? Dave Frost yesterday threatening because French authorities said by 2nd of November, which is the next 5 days, if nothing substantial is heard from the English, what they're going to do, they're going to stop what you call it,
the English trawlers from coming to
because it all has to do with last about fishing rights and other things. They're even going to cut electricity supply. Again, you look at how as Europe we protected our interest. But out of Europe, now everybody's on their own. So basically, French are saying that by 2nd of, if you don't resolve the issue, we're going to do that. They first say, look, that would be a breach of international law. You see, actually, I find it very difficult that politicians, wherever you find them, do not want to speak the truth. Who was the first to break international law? When the Brexit protocol on the Irish border, what did they do? What did the UK do? Unilaterally, you remember, what do you call it? Chancellor Merkel, Joe Biden, what do you call the US Secretary of State, what do you call the Vice President of the US? I mean, all sounded warning that they would not stand by was
for the Irish nation to
you even heard a lot of people within this country say that UK should not lead or showcase itself as those who do not respect international law. And UK didn't bother. Now others are doing it, and you are now talking about, actually, it's not going to help. It's not going to UK is going to lose out of it, because at the end of the day, if they do not resolve the licensing issue, the French will go ahead and do it. Do not forget, the French has a bigger market now because of the EU that it still remains in than the UK. Are you getting me? Then when we talk of freight that you're going to export to other countries, it's now becoming very more problematic. What they call shipping industry is delaying about 4 weeks and more. How are you even going to do that? Your salmon, how are you going to sell it? The what they call the Scottish. Probably Felix will need to increase his salmon intake.
Felix, we'll come and eat some more salmon there. Well, listen, Starr Radio UK, we're going to be crossing over pretty soon. But Akufo-Addo respects chiefs didn't mean to attack Togbi Fiti. I want just a quick one on that. Now we talked about this. I think a couple of days ago it came up where Togbi Fiti, one of the chiefs at Aflao, was saying that there've been a school block that needed to have been completed, started from the previous government, but nothing has been done to it, and saying that he's giving the housing minister, giving him an ultimatum that if it's not done, blah blah blah. Now the president came in and said, who are you to threaten that person? Okay, so that matter has gone on, but I know we've talked about the fact that governments, when they come in, they shouldn't jettison past projects because it's the
case that has before a lot of African countries where people come in and play politics.
Yeah. So the chief was trying to push that. Okay, don't waste that money.
Let's get it this way. Look, the chief will not be the first person who might have issued an ultimatum to a government.
Okay.
And this will not be the first government the chief might have issued on. We have civil society that go on demonstration, they issue ultimatum. We have vigilante groups issue ultimatum. We have people, teachers association, nurses association issue ultimatum. I would be surprised if Nana Akufo-Addo himself heard that comment. He was briefed.
He
was briefed. And all this, because if you look at even the interview quiz, basically there was a script before him which would suggest that to a large extent it was a basically scripted interview. So, are you getting me? I think the response was inappropriate from the president. That in my view. I think the response was totally inappropriate. At the end of the day, the chiefs who are the development officers call them that way in their decision, have also a responsibility. They also want to be seen as demanding for their citizens and people the supervisors, people they lead development that they claim will be killed them. And in whichever way you look at it, in my view, I think the president did not respond the way I would have wished. He could have probably ignored. Okay, the minister is working on it. Because the minister came back trying to give some explanations, and which would have been better
with the explanation that he gave. If the president had just been backed of not saying anything,
or if the president was briefed with that before the president spoke on the issue. Most of these, these people do not hear about them. They get briefed. So the people who brief them, in my view, also inform the kind of response
that the president gave. But do you think that he should apologize?
I think that they would have done that behind the scenes already.
Okay.
Normally when things like this happen, the district chief executives, the party leaders over there in those areas will be able to go the level, but publicly coming to apologize, I don't think again will be appropriate.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Frank Davis. We are going to take a quick break, and once we come back, we'll be having Mr. Charles Bissue joining us. And let me say good morning to Nyansapo Efiekuma. I think I've got it right. Yes. He said, and Blueprint writing from Esikado Ketan say thank you, Mr. Charles Bissue, our incoming General Secretary. All right then. All right. So that means our income is going to be joining us pretty soon. So wherever you are, just stay tuned. Don't go away. Continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. We'll take a quick break and we come back. We'll bring you Mr. Charles Bissue, KB Bossman, and we continue with the show. Stay tuned.
Mehuna betini nara as one better. And no mago pony, oh, who's here? Go original. Upper hapa, wapa hapa. I push some putting latta, hey. I say me a Rebecca. Popule I am a one on that. I some banner chassis. A coastal betty, my brother was some a cocoa. In your training, I dream them my head that door. Nasam Nawaba, Asam Nawaba, Ochina be neighbor wine, Ochina be neighbor. I dream them my head that door. Asam Nawaba, Asam Nawaba, Ochina be neighbor, Ochina be neighbor. Missing Ochina be neighbor sign, Ochina be neighbor, Ochina be neighbor, Ochina be neighbor. I am from Ochina be neighbor sign, Ochina be neighbor. Although you way, boy, Ochina be neighbor, boy, Ochina be neighbor, the boy my paripa, Ochina be neighbor, the membrane of our home, Ochina be neighbor, the bosso. What's the bang in that? When you man pavos and the penny of prepa. Let's a makuma, Mauda. Maya, Minya, Yawa. I say, I didn't dare Maya that. Asam Nawaba, Asam Nawaba. Ochina be neighbor wine, Ochina be neighbor, Ochina be neighbor sign, Ochina be neighbor.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 11 minutes past 11, and we are venturing to Ghana, but from here. So how are we going to be doing that? Well, I've got with me in the studio a very, very special gentleman who you always see on Thursdays. But this morning, today, Thursday, he's managed to surface a bit early. And somebody would say, why is he here? I've got KB Bossman with me. Let me say, KB, good morning. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Naji. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing very, very well. Doing very, very well. Nice to see you. I know you are here, but we will talk about why you are here in a moment. Okay, listeners, KB Bossman, he is always on Thursdays and Sundays on the show. What does he do? The Property Hour on Thursdays and the Faith Talk on Sundays as well. So just watch out. But today is a different day, so we're going to be telling you more about that. But in your shots as well, it's I don't know. I've been having lots of accolades coming in from Ghana. Some are calling him lawyer, some are calling him doctor, some are calling him Mr. And I'm like, okay, which one do you want me to how do you want me to address you? I've got with me Mr. Charles Bissue. Okay, Mr. Bissue, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
How are you doing?
I'm good, Archie, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. Very happy to have you in the studio, gracing our studios with your presence. We are so grateful to have you.
I'm happy to be here too.
Great. I did ask you earlier on how Ghana was behind the scenes. How is Ghana?
Ghana is doing well. I mean, it's always been a trailblazer in Africa. We've actually led in a lot of things. In the first country to have independence in the sub-Saharan Africa. Our democracy is also thriving in the sense that South Africa has been stable. And then if you look at their structure, they have the ANC, which is the dominant party. So the stability, I mean, it's evident in that because it's only the ANC which is the biggest party.
Okay.
But Ghana's democracy is unique in the sense that we have two political parties, the NDC and the MPP, always at their helm of affairs. We've exchanged batons in for the. I mean, President Kufuor was there. Jerry Rawlings handed over to him. President Kufuor handed over to Atta Mills, and now we have the Kufuor government, where people are saying that yes, after every 8 years, you have to hand over to the opposition party, forgetting that the Constitution says that. The mandate is for 4 years, so we are looking at going beyond another 4 years. So
okay,
that's basically what it is. So our democracy is thriving. The economy, I believe, is doing well because post-COVID, Ghana was the fastest growing economy and the greater recipient of foreign direct investment in the sub-Saharan Africa. And then COVID came in, which was a forced measure. It wasn't something that we put in our manifesto. And subsequent to COVID, we actually tipped to be the greater recipient of foreign direct investment again. So basically, we're doing well under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I wouldn't say everything is rosy. Ghana under President Kwame Nkrumah, the population was then 6 million, and when we had independence, we had no debts to pay, and so he was able to actually come up with a lot of factory state organizations here and there. But when President Rawlings came in around the 1980s, we had the Divestiture Implementation Committee where about over 100 state-owned agencies were diversified. But then when they were diversified, we didn't have people, to investors readily there to take that over.
Yeah.
So there was a deficit in our employment, and then they affected the economy. Now Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo comes in, and we've managed within 5 years to have about 104 one district, one factory, so I think we're on the right track.
Okay, that is a very, very good introduction there. I know I can see KB smiling. But let me come to KB first. Before KB, let me acknowledge a couple of people who have joined us there. Abdul Ghani Makarigu, I hope I pronounced your name well. Good morning, Starr Radio UK. Good morning to our lovely incoming National General Secretary, Dr. Lawyer Charles Bissue. As I said it, yeah. And then Junior Akbar says, "Good morning, boss. I'm joining you from Northern Regional Northern Regional Lawyer Charles Bissue is the man to lead the great MPP. Okay, and the man of the moment is Lawyer Charles Bissue, best man and incoming National General Secretary. So I think you have to be preparing yourself. I'm lacing up your shoes because it's going to be great. Then Zion Hill says, "Good morning, greatness," and Abraham Mensah, please check the spelling of Bissue. Okay, we will check the spelling of Bissue. All right then. I hope we got it right there. Okay. Well. Okay, so now let me come to my colleague, Mr. KB Bosman, who has joined in as well. So it's going to be a three-way conversation. As and when we need to chip in, both of us will be chipping in too. And then we have in the background Mr. Frank Davis, who is doing the production at the moment. Kweku Sego, let me say good afternoon to you. It's a lawyer, Dr. Charles Cromwell, Nana Benyin, Onua Wontu. Onuya want to Bissue.
Why you speak Ghana?
Yeah, I speak Ghana. I speak Fanti.
Literally means Nyamia hey.
Okay.
Nyamia.
Okay. Nyamia hey. Okay. Onuya want to. Oh, okay. So you cannot buy brethren. You cannot buy your brother or your sister. That's a good one. Okay. Yeah. So we are all welcome. You are all welcome to the program. Okay. Now, KB, let's start. We have Charles, touching on few things. Looking at how various governments and introducing democracy and everything from the independence to now. Yeah. Now, do you see that the MPP with this mandate that has been given to them, how many years now? Is it 6 years?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, 5 years. Oh yeah, we have 4 years, and then because of the lockdown, you see, I always add 2. Okay, so. Now, with that, do you think the MPP are on the right path, being a diaspora? Because we sit here and then we are observing from how do you see the whole thing, as he said earlier?
I believe. Let me say a very good afternoon to our viewers across the world, and also listeners on TuneIn Radio, and also our app as well. So a whole lot of platforms to watch us and listen to us from. And Archie, thank you for this question, and welcome, Mr. Charles. I don't know if I also have to join the whole train. Doctor, lawyer, Esquire. Yeah. All right. Okay. So it's good to have you, and good introduction as to in terms of the answer you gave. Yes, we've come this far, Ghana. I believe Ghana is a blessed land, and God has been gracious to us for us to sort of have this kind of stable democracy, which Mr. Charles talked about. But the challenging part is that I think in the 80s right into the 90s, there was when the MPP was coming up strongly, And let me say this, and let me state it. I'm an Achime boy. So,
okay.
And I know the deeper end and everything, the roots and everything. So why I said what I said now is for the fact that we had a certain kind of tone that not just what our president said, but we were always saying that we have so much resources, but we are not taking advantage of, as in how we can make everybody to be comfortable. Not, I mean, even in the UK, we still have very, very poor people that are living under the poverty radar. But I believe that we could do much, much, much better, because with the kind of I don't want to use hype, but with the kind of the faith that people had in our president before he came into power, possibly then somebody will say maybe because he had not tasted power, so he didn't know what it was gonna be like. So he got in there and realized that things are
reality
not
set in.
Exactly. So when you sit behind the wheels, it's different as compared to being a passenger. You know. So that is what I'll say. But the second part of my comment is the fact that the pace, because the promises compared to performance, there's a huge gap. And we people in the diaspora, people that go home regularly, and people that also call us and we share ideas, I can say generally that people are disappointed because they believe that the MPP had the men and they could deliver, but there's still time to make amends. The second term of every government becomes a bit shaky, but what personally I don't like, and I'm not happy about, is the fact that there's a government that has business to do and deliver to Ghanaians, but the part of people that want to succeed the president, trying to sell their identities and their candidacy to people, and they are not fronting it, but their followers are fronting it. That calls for a serious kind of concern, because then can people focus? I believe I listened to the president's interview with a radio station in Ghana, I think this week or last week. Is it this week or last week? Peace FM also. And he was asked that question. And he said for him, in the government of President Kufuor, he was focused until it got to his time. So he expects everybody to focus. But I think it's this year it become too much, as in how the other candidates that want to succeed him, I think it's not going to help. So he needs to call the shots and call for people to behave.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Bissue. Now, first of all, let's talk about the promises that the government gave before coming into power. I know somebody will talk about the free SHS, and government has implemented. We were talking about, people were saying that it should be means tested, blah 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 blah. But we know that government is having a challenge, but they're still prouding on. So kudos to you. But he's saying that there were lots of hypes, but seems not to have been realized.
Okay.
What do you say about that?
Okay, I understand him, but he's saying he's coming from Achime Buakwa. If he comes in to say that everything is rosy, people might not believe him.
Okay.
So I like the tangent that he's coming from. But then I would have wished that he mentioned certain things that the government said that we were going to do that we haven't. Our manifesto, you see, I have not seen a manifesto in our history, Ghana's history, our political history, that we've actually gone beyond 50% before.
Okay.
Yes, but this Akufo-Addo government did, because if you take the last 2020, where we had COVID, and you still went ahead and achieved over 60 to 70% of your manifesto promise, then you were making a headway. He also went on to say, mention that there was so much hype. Yes, there would be hype. I mean, because people in politics, we actually have to market what we're going to be doing. But then the timelines in doing these things, because I mentioned where Kwame Nkrumah started, and then within that period of the Diversity Implementation Committee, there was such a huge gap. 120 state-owned agencies were not replaced. So there's a gap, employment here and there. And one government comes in, and I remember during the era of the NDC, we had the Commander Sugar Factory, the most famous sugar factory in the whole world, which never produced sugar. Okay, we're all grappling over it. Okay,
the most famous.
Yes, it never produced sugar, but then we're all grappling over it. Commander Sugar Factory, and then it was like, once everything comes to fruition, all Ghanaians, that would have solved the employment problems of Ghana. Then you have a president that comes in, and then within 5 years you have 104 one district, one factory, and it's created over 13,000 jobs and all that. So it means that we're making headway. Either to where it was difficult, that people had that knowledge, had that information to actually come up to say we want to set up a factory and all that. But now a few people have done it, maybe 100 people have done it, so other people will be motivated to invest in it. And it's not just people who are in Ghana, across the world. Ghanaians across the globe would want to invest in Ghana. What the government needs to do is to actually create a conducive environment for people to invest in, which this government has done. The manifesto itself, yes, we mentioned free SHS. Within 100 days was done. There are challenges, and so we came in with innovation like the double track system. Within that, now that is phased out. So gradually we are getting there. I've never seen any government project or program that comes in without feeding problems.
Okay.
So that these things makes you resolute. I mean, you have to be resolute in dealing with them. So the free SHS now.
Let me just hold you there for a bit. Now, when it comes to the free SHS, we have this issue where we've been having, because we are in the diaspora, so we have pictures, people sending pictures and stuff like that, in where you have still got students or children lying on their floors or the floor studying in some shanty.
No, I agree.
And then that's what's
like
up.
schools under trees.
Yeah, and we have projects like school buildings that the previous government started, which has been abandoned. Okay. And so you ask yourself, what are we trying to do? Somebody starts something and you stop it, and someone also comes, starts something and stops it, and then, so what are we trying to do here?
Okay, so you see, the E-block school, that's what you're talking about. Okay, I am saying that if so far there's about 3 million children that have gone through the free SHS. So if we haven't had the free SHS, where would the other children have gone to? Now we have children from certain remote parts of the country going to Achimota School, St. Augustine's and all that. So it is because the free SHS came in. Now I'll give you an example of the E-blocks. I think that the previous government misappropriated our funds. Why? We have a place like Bamianko, and then you go and build schools there, certain villages. In my own disco, the Western region, where we have Sankro, where the population of the area is not even beyond 2,000, and then you go there and build a school there, which that takes more than 3,000 people, and there are no surrounding villages. What you should have done is actually, if you're going to build 100, then build 30, and then have dormitory facilities. You go to Bamiyanko, or they build them in areas that were not even accessible, so to speak. So I think that they misappropriated funds there. Now this government comes in, there has to be boarding facilities, and I believe that that's what the Ministry of Education is doing. So you can't just go and say, okay, now Bamiyanko SSS, we have to actually open the school up, where Bamiyanko itself, from there to Axim and all that, it takes longer period. So then the free SHS itself would not make any sense, because they're going to be day students, and each day they have to look for money to actually apply this route. So they are misappropriated funds there. So that's why I'm saying that things have to be done properly. I am saying that the manifesto itself, if you have a copy, a PDF copy, then we can go in and see what the government promised and hasn't done. You see, and there are things that were in the manifesto were not actually stated in the manifesto that the government even went ahead and did managed to do it. So I believe that it's a good start for us. If we have continuity, then we can actually hold the government accountable, because the NDC time, they came in with I remember they came in to say there's going to be NHIS one-term premium. Even here in the United Kingdom, it doesn't happen. We all pay.
We continue, yeah.
Exactly. So why would you lie to Ghanaians? That's a bad hype. You understand? Because we are talking about goodwill. It has to be consistency in governing the people of Ghana. And then you come in and then you win elections, and then you say, no, I can't do it. That's where the reality sets in. But my brother talking about Akufo-Addo coming in and seeing that the reality has set in, I don't believe so. He knew, he's been in politics for about 40 years. And Akufo-Addo is such a president that when things go wrong, he accepts them. I remember the toll bridge, the towing car.
Tow trucks.
Exactly. Ejapa. You understand? All these things, if things are not going well, Ghanaians are talking, he comes out back to say, no, I think we're wrong. And recently, he was in the news apologizing about the Cape Coast harbour issue. So he has been consistent in apologizing when he's gone wrong, and he has been consistent in doing the right things for Ghana. So he has experience, 40 years foreign minister, and so he knew that. President Kufuor said that when he was out, he didn't know that thing, because then he hadn't actually served any government. He served for 4 months in Rawlings's government, so he hadn't actually had the opportunity to know what's happening. Akufo-Addo had the opportunity in working with President Kufuor and for 8 years. So I think that Ghana has a good foundation. 104 1D1F, planting for food and jobs. All these things, the foundation that Akufo-Addo government said, if they weren't there, then when COVID set in, there could have been hunger, things could have gone really bad. So it means that the solid foundation with the economy and all that, actually, the economy was resilient and actually seeing us through during the COVID period.
Okay. Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. This afternoon, we have the pleasure of hosting Dr. Charles Bissue. Okay, so let me give you...
I'm not a doctor yet. I'm actually doing a PhD.
Okay, the people can foresee what is going to happen.
Of course, it's an honorary one.
Yes. Okay. Let me say good afternoon to Wizi Farai Septadi. It's a greetings to the incoming General Secretary of the NPP, Honorable Charles Bissue, a smart man by all standards, the hope of NPP to break the 8. Okay, and he is the only one that can help NPP to break the 8. I will go to KB. You were talking about the 1D 1F, saying that government has done something about it. Now, some concerns have been about this Commander Sugar factory that you spoke about earlier on. Now, why did government stop its operation? You were saying it's a factory that had been put together, but it never came up with sugar. I remember when they set it up, I think the then government, NDC, I think I remember if the what do you call him, the president Mahama went and then they brought some sugar, that this is what they've done, and they had various sugar plantations that were going up. I mean, people variously. So why did it stop?
Do you remember the Green Book? So you shouldn't be surprised. As opposed to a government now that has a tracker, a delivery tracker, where you can actually access projects and all that. So there's transparency.
You know, one thing I like about comparing NDC and MPP, one thing I like about the MPP guys is that they digitize things, and so it becomes very smart.
Okay.
And the NDC guys are a bit slow.
Analog.
A bit of analog, you know. I don't know where they picked it from, but I mean, from what my brother is saying, I don't doubt the fact that the government has performed. But what I was saying is that, you know, from where we sit, as in being the diaspora, knowing what if you hand something to a minister of state to run, a ministry to run, and as he's saying, if there's a tracker, then some of the ministers should not be in government. That's number one. We want, I mean, the Ghana that we've been promised, that we are sitting on gold and we are hungry. As I said, it's not just the president Nana Addo that started this. Professor Albert Eduboahin
Yeah.
He started that kind of message. So way from 1990s.
Is it a free SHS?
No, I'm talking about Ghana being a prosperous country.
Okay.
We have every resources that can make us a better country.
But Kwame Nkrumah said that.
Exactly. So therefore, you see, I think the challenges that we face, whether we like it or not, it's politicians that, because of the democracy we have, it's politicians that are going to fix it. But I think they have to be a bit selfless, no matter which party is in power. Because when you look at where we are, as in the UK, the Prime Minister, somebody refurbed his flat. You heard everything. I mean, how he was dragged. I mean, in Parliament, he was everything, every question, accountability, and all those stuff. You know, there's corruption in this country. We will not doubt it. Somebody told me something that I can't say on air. And what the person said, I was shocked to my bones. So there's corruption in the system. And so as Ghana as well. But what we want to see is that I saw something, is it Sunday or so, a group of people demonstrating with their MP, I think it's Medina or Denta or something like that.
Denta.
For me, whether he is opposition or, and in Ghana, I'm yet to see an incumbent government, a member of the incumbent government, that would demonstrate against its own government. I've never seen that before. But if these guys are demonstrating because of their roads, you understand, it's going to create a whole lot of pregnant. One of the motorbikes guy, I nearly cried because he said he had to carry a pregnant woman, you understand, on the motorbike. And just think for a second how they are going to feel. What they are demanding, it goes to every politician in Ghana. For me, whether the NPP or the NDC, at the end of the day, they've been employed by the people. I said this during the elections when I was holding the political show. I said that how can the employer have to beg the employee to fulfill the obligation? Does that make sense? No. The 105 factories or 1D, 1F, brilliant. It's Ghana that wins at the end of the day. But can we do more? Can we be selfless and transparent? And try as much, because we have enough, more than enough, to make the country the most prosperous in Africa. We have everything. But for the sake of our younger ones that are coming, it's quite difficult because the moment you start hitting MPP this, MPP that, and they'll start tagging you. For me, I mean, I don't care, but I will say that we need to be selfless. Our politicians need to be selfless. We need to, what is good for the whole country, let's stand and push it. The free SHS, brilliant. But can we make it better? Yes, let's get it going. The Commander Sugar Factory, what happened? We don't have, we have this disease of not continuing a project for the previous government. Can we look at that?
All right,
Mr. Bissue,
okay. I still disagree with Bossman. I would want him to give me figures. You understand? For example, you mentioned that the schools and the trees and all that. I would have wished that you gave me figures to say that then under the previous government there was about 3,000 of them. And there's 5,000 now.
That one the NDC people can do it.
Don't worry, I'll open the lines pretty soon, so don't worry.
That's my point, because now it's like when he's saying that the politician has to be selfless. That's generic. That's generic to me. Then we would just go out and say that all politicians across the world are not are selfish or selfless or have to be selfless.
Can I interrupt you for a second? I said that because when you speak to people in the diaspora, they are fed up with NDC, NPP. That is why I said that politicians.
Yeah, but then when you speak to people here, people are fed up with Labour and
exactly
Conservatives. So that's what I'm saying. It's generic. You understand? So let's go specific. This government, NPP government, came to power in the manifesto, which is the social contract between the
voters and the politicians. Yeah,
and the contract. There's something called specific performance in law. Let's see, ascertain that they have actually done what they said. And I've mentioned, if you go to the educational sector, there's free SHS. It has been done, okay? And there are teething problems. They've dealt with it. They came with an innovation. They go to the double tracking system, because a lot of children have to go to school, and the pass mark was higher as opposed to the previous one. So these are the things that I want us to actually interrogate. You understand? If we came in with that innovation, and then we went on to do the double tracker thing, and then a lot of children failed, then we're having a conversation, then we're failing. But then by putting all the children out there, coming out with our innovation, we got a higher pass mark, then it means that we're doing something right. So we solidify it. Then I will go to agric. So if we do it specifically like that, then we're actually having a conversation. And agric, we have planting for food and jobs, which actually gave us a lot of harvest, so that we are able to actually withstand COVID. You understand? That is good for me. Then we go into the health sector, where there was about 1.2 billion debt under which the NDC bequeathed to us. We paid it off, and then we're making progress. Then I'll move to the trade and industry, where we promised 1D, 1F, 104, as opposed to the one that was there. Under the 104, the NDC was saying that yes, the government said we're going to come up with factories and all that. No, MPP, it's not like a socialist party. It is a capitalist party, where the private sector is the engine of growth. So we actually create an enabling environment, which we have those industries. You see, so if we go specifically like that, digitalization, where the interoperability is working now, we are making the things a lot more cashless. So crime rate is going down, that sort of thing. So then we mean that we're actually taking specific areas, you understand? But if we say that, politicians have to be selfless, then we'll get to a point that when I get out on the street and somebody's actually drinking water from a sachet water, I'll say, no, it's the fault of the politician. You should be drinking from a bottle. You understand? So I want to do specific, with the data. Because politics revolves around three things: the data, the personality, and the message. You realize that now, maybe our communication is not going down so well, because the NDC has done it, culturally in such a way that every 8 years, and we MPP did the same, every 8 years, one political party has to go and another one has to go. And so what they're doing is they're preparing the minds of Ghanaians. So you realize that for the past 6 weeks, every week, they bring out one scandal, so that you're not telling the good stories of the things that we've done. But for me, I've actually caught that. So I'm not going to waste my time and delve into it and discuss that. But I'm going to go and tell Ghanaians what the mandates that you gave me, that I am actually performing. So when it comes to that, then I'm not chasing them. Next week, they'll bring another scandal. And then you go in and then all that. So it's like that. When the message is good and the messenger is wrong, that's another thing. So it's at the point that at this point we re-strategize and change the messengers, because the message is good. And nowhere in our history have we had a political party adhering to the tenets or the agreement that they have with Ghanaians. 60% is something good that we've done for this country. So I believe, and then for people like corruption, they use corruption against them. I myself sitting here, I'm an example of a corrupt issue where money was being handed over to me, which was staged. I stepped aside for investigation to be carried out, and then I was exonerated. So these are things that we need to be talking about. But then we this government is also dealing with things prudently, spending our money prudently. When the Ofanko interchange, which the NDC negotiated for 3-tier, when this government came in, we renegotiated and we had 4-tier for the same amount. When you go into energy, we saved about $40 million in. So these are the things that I would look at, so that we are dealing with the specifics.
Now, interestingly, let me acknowledge a couple of people, and then I come to judgment debts that the country has been facing of late. We'll come to that briefly. Now, Junior Akbar says the best man to help the NPP to break the 8 is Dr. Lawyer Charles Bissue, the man we can believe. As the doctor, I think they've bestowed it upon you, so you better take it.
Whether I like it or yes.
And Oketeche Kwame also say, I never get tired listening to Charles Bissue. I'm happy to call him a brother and proud to belong to the same party as him. MPP should not let this workaholic, diligent man go waste. The party needs him to break the 8. Let me announce the lines opened as well. If you are listening to us, you want to call in, feel free to do so. It is 02081 332257 or 58. 02081 332257 or 58. And then if you are in the US or Canada, you can call us on 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. If you are in Ghana and you want to call, you can text, you can call us on our WhatsApp number. Okay, I'll be able to pick it. It is 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. You can text on that one as well. And as some others are doing, they are posting their comments on the Facebook page, so feel free to do so as well. Starr Radio UK, and like I said, Theophilus Max Spencer Kojo, he said, we're breaking the 8. Very smart one, Secretary. You are smart and intelligent. The incoming General Secretary. We'll come to the incoming General Secretary. But a quick one on judgment debts. I mean, since the government came to power, there have been lots of contracts that have been truncated and therefore has ended up with judgment debts coming in. What do you want to say about that?
Okay, I haven't actually delved into most of it. If you can tell me one of them, then I'm not. Because I haven't seen, I normally do not communicate about things that I've not.
Okay.
But one thing that I know is that recently there was one that says that certain excavators were seized by a certain company and there was a judgment death of.
Yeah, that one was the Galamsey issue when that one happened as well.
Attorney General stopped that. I think he actually went in and I even spoke to the Attorney General and said, no, look, this is not right. I know something about it.
Okay.
And then he went in and then even before I went there, he'd already done something about it. So it's not like he's sitting aloof and not doing anything. So with the judgment that I think we need to delve into it and know the specifics.
Okay. Okay, fine. Because we don't have much on that, let me just jump straight to your general secretaryship. People are calling you that. Now, interestingly, Malik Hartlick also says general to lead to battle of 2024. Do you have the desire, the plan to become the general secretary of the MPP?
I have the desire to serve the party in any capacity. You know, I used to live here in the UK.
Okay.
And then I went to Ghana. I contested in the parliamentary primaries 2010. I lost. And then in 2013, I put my name forward for the regional secretaryship. At that time, I had the opportunity to go back to contest for the parliamentary primaryship in Ahanta West, in the Western region. But I opted to help the party win power. So I became the regional secretary, and then we won 8 seats in addition to the 8 that we have already. And then I went in again 2018 as the regional secretary. So I've served for about almost 8 years now. Now, if we have to win the next elections, wherever we feel that I feel that the party is lacking, I have to fill in the gap for us to actually move forward. Because when MPP was in opposition for the last 8 years, I know that Ghanaians missed us. You see, so I would say even if I'm asked to go, I'm asked to become the women organizer, which the constitution,
permits.
Yes, because the constitution.
Then I think that.
Yeah, no, because the constitution doesn't stipulate that the woman or the woman organizer
should has to be a woman.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once I qualify, then I'll go in if I have to do that. But then yes, a lot of people have actually spoken to me. If I have to be a chairman of the party, general secretary, I will. Now the party, I'm a member of the national council of the party. We've announced not to be campaigning ahead of time. Once the party actually opens, we asked to go in for nominations. Then I'll put my name forward for that position.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that Bosman did say that earlier on? Those who are vying to take over from the president, it looks like maybe they're taking their eyes off the ball now because they have various ministerial appointments or official duties that they're supposed to. Like what you are saying that you are waiting when the time comes, then you are going to do something about it. So do you think that those ones are taking their eyes off the ball? Because it looks like when you go to MPP, anything there, they are, who is going to replace? Is it Baumia? Is it what do you call Alan Cash? Is it this? So that thing is what is going on.
Whoever is doing that is actually not doesn't have the right strategy.
Okay.
Because the MPP is a party that you are only judged by what you've done.
Okay.
So if you take your eye off the ball now because you're in a certain position, then you're actually goofed. You see, because Nana Addo Dankwa became president because of what he did as Attorney General, an organizer of the party then, and then foreign minister and all that, and he was judged by that. So if you should take your eye off the ball because you're in for a certain position, then the party will not reward you.
Okay.
Now, I think we don't have to have this noise in the party because now, like I said, every week there's more like a scandal coming in. The party NDC are using that. They're using fix the country here and there and all that. So these are all diversionary tactics, and I don't think we have to fall for it. Because we have a good story, the message is good, and I think we need to keep drumming that, and then tell Ghanaians where we were before and where we are now. So to answer your question, whoever is going for position should actually adopt the Bissue approach.
Okay.
Wait till we have nominations are open. Pick up nomination. If it's a women organizer, you go for it. If it's a youth organizer, wherever, we all have to push the party forward because we do not want Ghanaians to miss us again.
Okay, Bossman, I know you are eager to chip in.
I just wanted to find out in terms of the candidates to replace the president. As everybody, the president was asked the same question. So, who do you think is the best candidate to succeed the president? Yeah, that's my question. Yes.
You're from Chibi, right? So he said, who is the best person
to lead? Because there are other quarters that believe that the vice president has done a good job, but at the same time they think that he's not been there when the party started. So he's not been in for long, and maybe you cannot say what I'm saying because I'm not a member. So let me do it.
Okay.
And there are other quarters that Alan competed with Nana, and it is his time because he's also been patient. And also there are other people coming in. Dr. the Greek minister.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you come across somebody who has acquired a driver's license for about 20 years and never used it, and then somebody who acquires a driver's license for 2 years and uses every day? Who do you say have experience in driving?
The one who has been frequenting driving.
I know. I know because yes, you haven't finished because from what you've from the question you've just asked, I know which camp you belong.
No,
we'll pray for you.
You see, no, your question was that Dr. Baumia, people are saying that he came from nowhere.
Yes.
Okay, and that he should. I mean, that's basically what
they
they're saying. And I'm saying that
elders.
If I should say yes to that, then it means that he's not performing as a vice president.
Okay.
That's the answer I'm trying to give you.
Okay.
And in the same vein, we've had Alan Shemante, okay, who's been a trade minister under President Kufuor and all that. So he also has experience. So I was actually telling you that all of them have performed. You understand? They've had driver's licenses and then they've used it. And then we've had other people who are within the race, okay, who are not even. I will not mention it.
The former energy minister.
I'm not mentioning it. So both of them have experience, and we have others who have their driver's license and are not using them.
Okay.
So if you're asking me that, who is the best person to actually succeed Nana Akufo-Addo? It has to be an MPP person. The MPP party will succeed Nana Addo.
Okay, but in terms of it comes down to the two horse race. If it comes down to two, the one that is spearheading the engine of growth, and the one that is digitalizing the country,
and the one that is feeding the country,
the one that is feeding the country. So
I would be mentioning names, you see, and I'll be going on to talk about what each and everyone has done. As we speak, none of them actually put a name forward or picked up a form,
but they have their groups. They have what
I'm talking technically as a officer of the party who has been elected. Because if I sit here and say, okay, I know about A, B, C, D, then I've actually not done a good service to the party. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Listeners, Starr Radio UK. We've gone 5 minutes to 1. Wow. Okay, we'll be bringing the program to a close pretty soon. But like I said earlier on, if you want to chip in, do whatever you want to do, just contact us and we will bring. If you want to put your comments there, I will read them as well. Edmond Dikash Hezekiah is a truthful Charles Bissue. He said he snited you as well. He said the smart search Dr. Charles Bissue, and he said that you are the people's choice. So it looks like you have got people who are following you who, because of maybe your diligence to duty, or
is it not because of the Anas thing that, and then later on it turned out I wasn't through.
Oh, okay. I didn't know anything about that.
No. But I mean, it's what they're saying is actually the work that I did in the party. 8 years. I mean, first 4 years we won 8 seats. During that time, my chairman, one was indisposed, and then another one was ill. So I had a second vice chairman that I worked with. The team, and then we won 8 seats. And then later on, we actually succeeded. We have a majority of seats in the Western region. And most of the communication work that I've been doing for the party and all that. And then that's infamous Anas thing that was
speech. That's the one that you said that you stepped away from whatever.
Exactly.
So are you a strategist then? Strategist for the party?
Yes, I am. I would say, I mean, I studied corporate strategy, so maybe I'll apply that. I'll apply wherever I go.
So do you think that, I mean, we've not seen it in Ghana where the 8 years, that break, we've seen 4 years, we saw it with Mahama, but we've not seen an 8 years one. Okay, do you think the MPP, with your expertise and what your input, you'll be able to have to turn that 8 years thing around?
You mean expertise as in the party?
Yes, your role that you are playing.
Oh yeah, it has to be a collective one, you see. And for us, I mean, MPP, we've always actually led certain things, a lot of things in Ghana. When we used to have the opaque ballot box, and then we moved, we agitated, and we had the transparent, and then now we have the biometric. And then we at Bissue, President Dr. Bissue, then we started planting teak trees, and then President Rawlings came and used it for the electrification project. And then we came in, President Kofo came in, you know, the children, the free maternity health care, those children are the children that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo made sure that they had free education, and these children are going into university where they don't need guarantors and all that. So if you look at the story of MPP, it's more like the MPP has a development plan for Ghana. Okay, now if we're going to win the next elections, it should be dependent on the projects, on the manifesto. That's what we need to educate Ghanaians, and not where we say that, oh, you've been 8 years, so they're 8 years, so somebody should come and then somebody go. That's the psychology that NDC are using, without us looking at the substance of what is really transpiring out there in the country. But then we had military rule under President Rawlings, and then MPP pushed through the international community and all that, and then we actually went for democratic rule, and then we changed 8 years, and then we handed over to the NDC, and then we also. So it's like we've led in so many things. So I believe this 4 years we're going to do it, but I don't want us to feel so confident about it. It is through constant collaboration with the Ghanaian people that we can do that.
Okay. Now, interestingly, you during your submission, you did say that, well, whatever capacity that you are, appointed to take, you will serve there. Now, assuming you are appointed to be the General Secretary, what improvement? Looking at what, because we had you have a General Secretary. You went to that election, the election that took place, was it last year? And what happened there? You lost seats. You lost seats, and eventually now you are at par with the NDC. Now, what do you think you can do to improve your fortunes when it comes to the next election?
First of all, being somebody who is a strategist, it is not everything that I'll say here. Okay? Okay, because you know the NDCs, the NDC, they copy us a lot. So if I put it out there,
they also thank you.
Whoever I'm going into a competition with, if I say it and the person grab it and then go with it, I'm happy.
They also think you copied them.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, with the manifesto thing and all that, we know about them. You see, but if I should say something now and then an MPP member grabs it and then goes with it, then it benefits my party.
Okay.
But you know the people that we're dealing with, you see. And so I will not answer the question. But what I can say is that most of the people looking for positions within the party are saying that grassroots. We need to take care of the grassroots. Who is a grassroots person? I think they're getting it wrong. I'm a grassroots person because when I'm in Ghana, I go to the villages. So we need to define it well. I believe that they're talking about the people who feel marginalized within the party.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, if they're marginal, then we have to include them. So we use the inclusive strategy to bring them to bear. I think that's how we need to look at it. Why is the person feeling marginalized? Is it because of jobs and all that? And I believe that the party structure itself, there has to be oil in the machinery all the time. We are not getting reports from the grassroots all the time. I mean, if they for want of a better word, or the polling station out to the top.
Yeah.
Once you're getting that information, that can even travel to the top to become your manifesto. Because I remember when we're in opposition, whenever the flag bearer then Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is coming down, we plan in speaking notes and all that, but then we do not sit in our rooms and write it. We speak to various areas. For example, the Western region, you realize that the coastal belt is about 8 constituencies, but some of them would have the same story, the things that they require and all that. But then some cut across, like Jomoro and Lembelonda, to be rural as well. So you realize that you have some things that are needed by 8 constituencies and the 14 constituencies across, which are the rural areas. So when you're planning, you plan with them. And most of the things that we gathered from them traveled into the manifesto. And so by doing that, you're answering their questions. And that's when you go with the manifesto and the bite, as opposed to the NDC when they said, oh, we need to go out there and talk to the people to tell us what the manifesto is. No, the manifesto should be built on the party's ideology and what the people are saying, and then you apply it to it.
Okay.
So I think that I will not go into detail in talking about what we're going to do, but I know politics has 3 things: the data, personality, and the message. Okay. And I'm going to work around those things.
Okay. Can I ask? How do you intend to take Mr. John Boadu out?
No, but I haven't said that.
He's a big fish.
No, he wants to enter through the back door. I said that. I said that if the party requires that I become the if the party requires that I become the general secretary, I will. If it's the women organizer, I will. However, when nominations come up,
because if I have to register, then because of you, I'll register and vote for you, because you are trying
as
to
a member of the party.
So per the statement that he said, he thinks that I will be a good general secretary, so I'll take his word.
That is why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that. I mean, he's your biggest challenge, and I believe that with a good strategy, and
Jerry Rawlings was there from 1980 something to 1992, but President Kufuor took over. It doesn't mean that he didn't do something right for Ghana. You understand? If I have to go for the general secretary, the general secretary has done his bit. I have to build on what he has done, and that's how because I might need him if I become the general secretary, or I might need him if I become the women organizer.
Charles, I like what you've just said, and if Ghana, we can work it out the same way. You said you acknowledge the general secretary. You understand? You acknowledge the general secretary. So therefore, whichever party comes in, whatever the NDC they did,
continuity,
exactly, and acknowledge them, because we bring politics into national development.
Bosman, you said 2 things. Let me give you 2 examples. Okay. You know the Sagleme, that thing. You know what was happening there, so it's in court. You understand? And then somebody goes for $200 million, and then things are not done. The moment you touch it, people might say that, oh no, it's not true. So it's a thing for contention for the courts. Now you mentioned Commander Sugar Factory. President Mahama 2 weeks ago said that his A-level economics tells him that he can build the factory there and then raw materials. but provide them with raw materials. But he did not do it. In my economics, even O-level economics tells me that when you're putting up a factory, it needs to be in proximity to the raw material.
Location and localization.
Exactly. So you didn't do that because you built a factory and there were no raw materials to to supply them with. So that is money that is going to cost the taxpayers. And now the 1D1F that we have now, we have a system there where we have outgrowers where we cannot sustain them. So there are various ways so that they're always actually working. So he didn't actually plan it well. Now this government has actually thrown out bits out there, and then people are actually coming in with bits. So the government will do the right thing and then make sure that Commander Sugar Factory is working. But I'm happy that we have over 100 now, and I want us to have more.
But what I want to ask is, would you subscribe to a national development plan that this particular parliament will have to enact it, so that no party comes in and the people have to beg them for development? Would you subscribe to that?
I would subscribe to that, you see, but our political dispensation will not allow us.
No, if we put the right, because the
LGBTQ plus
that bill is before Parliament. It is so dear to their heart. But what about the development, a national development plan that no party can come and touch? That the necessary amenities that the ordinary taxpayer will have to enjoy, they don't have to come begging.
Let's hear Mr. Charles.
I am saying that from the little politics that I've done, and then even my government in school tells me that China, they have a development plan 30 years because it's one party state. They are able to execute it. Our system is such that it's the winner take all approach. So NDC comes in and then they do what they like, and then MPP for better word. So we want to come to power. NDC wants to come to power. So they go tell people, and I'm not saying it's right. You understand? So they come in and say whatever he or she is doing is not right. I'll do it this way. So when you come in, then you have to satisfy each person. Now the national development plan, if we have to put in it, then maybe we should give each political party, change our constitution or whatever, and say that each political party stays in for 10 years. You understand? Then there's a 10-year plan. You understand? You get it. There's a 10-year plan. So after the 10 years, if you're not able to do what you said you're going to do, then you move out. And you do that with the National Development Authority or whatever we're saying. But if it's 4 years, you understand, they would want to do things because 4 years is not enough. So this is another conversation that we have to have. But for you to have a development plan in our part of the world, then it needs to be a one-party state. And Kwame Nkrumah succeeded with that. He had a 7-year development plan where he started, and I stated earlier that he had over 100 state-owned agencies. You understand? For example, NDC will come in tomorrow. If it happens, then they would change a lot of things that MPP has done. You remember when President Kufuor found oil because they want to come to her, they said no, it's oil, it's not, it's edible oil, it's not crude oil. Because they wanted to come to power, you understand? However, they forgot that NPP ruled the country and the economy was good. We became the fastest growing economy without oil. And then when they came and then we had oil, I don't know at that time when the resource curse actually started setting in. You see, that sort of thing. So to conclude, I believe that yes, National Development Plan, it is good, but our political dispensation does not allow it. So we need to look at that.
I think it will allow. And if you give an African government 10 years, coup d'etat will happen because the people will feel.
No, I'm not saying 10 years from now. I'm just
I know. I'm just giving an example that you see, our people cannot. They
will not be able to match that.
So the development plan, if you ask me now, that off the cuff, I have to say something, then I would say that if you're talking about development plan, there has to be infrastructure. For example, we say all our routes 15 years must be done.
Exactly.
There's a plan for it.
Exactly. That is what I'm saying.
Then maybe all these things have to be built. But then each political party then you don't need a manifesto to come with. You understand?
But Doc, what I'm saying is that, you see, for roads, Archie, you don't need a party to
to come and design the roads in a certain way for electricity, for water. These basic necessities, we have to make sure that no party comes into power and change it. This is your responsibility. Whether you have a manifesto to do whatever, you come in, make sure that every corner of the country has these basic amenities in place.
The local authorities have that, you see. But I'm saying that our political
they are government appointees.
It's now that we actually trying to do. I mean, and two, you see, the voter population. Okay, so the literacy rate was higher. Okay, now the voter is discerning. You understand? So with that, they can hold government accountable. You understand? And gradually we'll get there, because that's what I'm saying. I said that Ghana has led the democracy in the sub-Saharan Africa. I remember a friend told me that in Nigeria they don't actually elect president; they choose president. The ballot box is only there. I don't know how they're saying that. You understand? But then we have gone to the point where, when we went to court in 2013, we're told that the elections are won at the polling station. So we went home, did our bit, and then the ballot accounting, we train our people. Hitherto, we used to send macho men, you understand, to the polling station. I remember training people on how to do ballot accounting and all that. One guy who stood up, he said, me, that day I'll start going to the gym. That day I'm going to fight, and I'll make sure that nobody defeats it. So I told the boss, that the chairman of the constitution, I don't want this guy here. What we're going to do on that day is an intellectual thing, where we do ballot accounting and all that, and we won the elections. So these are the things that we have to do, and then ensure that the discerning voter is impressed with what is happening.
But please take this to the government.
Listeners, Star Radio UK, we're going to be running up pretty soon. Let me acknowledge a couple of people. Dominic Rex John Fia, he says, doing the listening, boss, kudos. Rex John Fia from Second Day, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my deputy regional secretary.
All right. And Edmond Eddie Cash Hezekiah Hispo said, he said that you are truthful, you are the accolades that is given to you are, my goodness. Okay, is the best bet for the position of the general secretary. Abraham Mensa says there is a national development plan that has been initiated by the NDPC. It is a 40-year plan.
It is.
I mean, I think we'll have to later on look into that plan and see what it's actually drawn about, talking about for the country.
Was it put together by sort of a set-up committee and
there's
backed
an
by Parliament?
thing team that does it, you see. But the 40-year plan, what I'm trying to say, we need to know what goes into it. Is it planting for food and jobs? Is it to do with agriculture that we come and we say we are doing planting for food and jobs, and then the NDC comes and say, well, okay, we're doing something else. You understand? So is it to do with infrastructure? Then we all adhere to it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, now before Junior Akbar, it says, I just like this great man, Dr. Lawyer Charles Bissue. All right then, the people like you. They like you. Now, my final question that I'm going to ask is pertaining to the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
Now we're going to, whatever we're talking about here will end up at the polls.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the performance of the Electoral Commission so far?
Yes, I am. You see, every institution that we have, has to grow. Okay, so we started with the pick ballot box, the biometric and all that, so we're actually traveling somewhere. So I like what I see. For example, in the recent elections, when we're going to go into, there was COVID, the registration exercise was done properly. I know Article 45 and 46 of Ghana's constitution mandates the Electoral Commission to do its job. And if I look at those two articles, they haven't actually fallen foul to any of them. They're working within the tenets of the law, and I agree to that, and I think that they're doing well. Until recently, when President Mahama said something which is very irresponsible, that 1 million ballot boxes were stuffed into, and that's very irresponsible. And I don't think, if we need power, we should be saying things like that, because the three arms of government, the judiciary, legislature, and the executive, you were not satisfied with the election results, you take it to the Supreme Court and a decision comes out. You couldn't you couldn't go in with a lot of cogent evidence, as opposed to in 2013 when the MPP took 17,000 pink sheets as evidence, which was interrogated. You went in with nothing, and yet after the verdict comes out 7-0, he started denigrating the judiciary system that we have. It is irresponsible of a statesman, and I don't think these things should be said. The 1 million votes that were stuffed in, why was it that he didn't actually put that through when you were actually going to the Supreme Court? And I think it's irresponsible, and the police has to invite him.
Okay, do you think that it's fair for a community not to have any representation in Parliament? We're talking about Central Kofi, Akpafo, Lolobi, and Lekpe. Okay, up to now, the Electoral Commission, I mean, a few hours before the election, they cannot say, you people cannot vote for your what do you call it, your parliamentary candidate. So they had to just, and up to now, nothing has been said about it. Do you think it's fair?
Is the matter in court?
It was
in court. And they were trying to, but up to now, nothing has been said about it, and I'm not happy about that.
But if it's in court, then who am I? I was just talking about the
okay. If it's in court,
President
okay.
Mahama not respecting the court,
yeah,
and then within 5 seconds, I'm actually going contrary to that. You know,
okay.
I have to be consistent.
Okay, so putting the shoe on putting the shoe on the other feet. If you suffered that as a party, how would you feel?
Okay, just commentary. No, everyone has to have representation, so long as the law prescribes that. So I would want to have a representation there.
Okay.
My MP, thankfully, I have about 5 MPs because I'm a hunter from the royal family in the Western region.
Okay.
So, most of the Jogate, Kujokum, they are all
all from your area. Okay.
So it's good. So I think yes, once the law allows that, we should allow people to be represented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, I wanted to ask about the 8 people that died. As to, I don't know why.
Which district?
During the elections. I'm asking this because it looks like the media in Ghana, the mainstream media, nobody has even asked, or like the last interview the president. At least we know about this country. Even one person, this police officer that has been put behind bars.
Yeah, Cousins.
And I mean, the prime minister talks about it. They go to parliament and mention it, and we have 8 human beings that lost their lives because whether they went to just view what was happening after the voting or what, but nobody, I know some of the officials of government have made comment about it, but in terms of the head of government, what do you think about that? What is your take on that, Ms. Jones?
No, we've had elections in Ghana where people have died, even if it's one human being.
Yeah, it's not right.
Good. You understand? I would want to look at the circumstances that led to it. I believe that that is being investigated, and I would want us to allow the investigations to go on. But then, once the report comes out, I don't think it should be business as usual, where reports come out and then we actually stop them somewhere. Going forward, from those 8 people that lost their lives, I think that in the next elections we should actually go in and then ensure that this does not happen. And it's not just MPP, it's even NDC. President Mahama comes in to say do or die. You understand? And then if he says do or die,
our leaders, or die be die from do or die.
Or die is that different from do or die.
You see, all die be die. I said something, and Nana Akufo-Addo has been consistent. In 2016, he came in to say that I apologize for what I said.
Okay.
But we have somebody who's been belligerent sitting there and say, I would say,
maybe 2024 he will also come and apologize.
And then he goes on to say that, and then President Mahama is a communication expert, right? So he says do or die. Okay, after the Supreme Court case, he says do or die, and then he comes in again to say that the Electoral Commission stuffed ballot boxes with 1 million. What is he trying to do? And he said, when he said do or die, it was on the backdrop of the military coup in Guinea. You understand? So if a statesman who is a communication expert starts talking like that, you need to watch what he's doing. That is why I'm saying that the 8 people that lost their lives. May their souls rest in peace.
Okay.
I don't think it should happen. And so people like President Mahama shouldn't be speaking like that. We need to actually, Ghanaians, all of us must rise up to the occasion and stop him from talking like that.
Okay.
If it's about the economy and things like that not going well, we talk about it. But it's not a do or die affair in an election when we've gone to court in 2013 and recently, and we've been told by the Supreme Court that elections are won at the polling stations. When the last court, when Atuguba came out and then they gave us reforms within the EC carried their bit, and then we all actually conform to it. That's how I think a nation's development should actually gear towards.
Okay. Kojo D, I hope that you are satisfied. And Francis Guy, I hope that you are satisfied with the question. The question that you're posing, I think, is being addressed. So let me say thank you very, very much on that. We're going to be running up. Edmond Edikach says, I love Dr. Charles Bissue for his truthfulness. He's trustworthy, open-minded, and always ready to help. He must be our next general secretary. He must be.
His campaign manager. I don't even know him.
This one,
I have to look for him.
You have to look for him.
Edmond, put your details on the platform.
Yeah,
get in touch with you. You might feel very.
We're going to do a collabo.
Yeah. Some collabo will take place.
You know more of his abilities than himself because he's not prepared to tell us exactly where he wants to. For you know, he wants to be a woman
organizer.
Now that we are having backdoor illegal like
Kwekusengo say it's been a wonderful show, Mr. Host. Oh, thank you very much for the good work there, and thank you very much to each and every one of you for joining us this afternoon. But before we go, I'll come to you. Addressing the whole of Ghanaians, especially those of us in the diaspora, what would you want to tell us?
Okay, first of all, I am in a position where I can actually speak to, because I lived here in the UK for about 20 years before I then went to Ghana and then contested in politics and all that. But whilst I was here, this is to the youth, I actually psyched myself that I'll spend my adult life in Ghana. So I prepared myself towards that, and it was through education. Like I went to Milton Keynes College, Northampton College, Coventry University, and I did my Master of Laws at Coventry University. And then now I'm at Bristol doing my PhD.
Okay.
So all these things, we have something we call brain drain, but we should let that be a brain gain for Ghana, because once we do that, then most of us would not be talking about things not going well at home, because I've gone into the system to actually contribute my bit. We cannot all sit here and say that we're expecting those in Ghana to do it alone. Whatever investment you have and all that, for example, hitherto when you are going in to get your passport, you have to go and see a connection man to do it for you, your driver's license and all that. All these things have changed. You go into the DVLA, and I don't think they have the platinum, premium and all that you spend no more than an hour there. Hitherto you go to the license office and there are too many Goro boys. And I remember when visa connections and all that, these things do not exist anymore. Once you have the data or the information, and the system is getting so rugged now. I'm not saying that it is rosy, but we're getting there, and we need, when most of the people from here came and helped us in Ghana. I remember when President Kufuor became president, we have Apreku, Asamoah Boateng, they all lived in the UK and then US, and then they came down and helped him rule the country. You know, NDC didn't have people like that, so they goofed. So yes, it's true. I can mention it. It's true. I speak based on facts, you see, and I can mention about 10 people that Alan Tremanten, Asamoah Boateng, Dr. Baumia, all of them studied somewhere here in the UK or abroad, and that was a brain gain to the MPP and Ghana, as opposed to the NDC. That's why we have inflated contracts and all that, because the figures, So basically, all I'm saying is that let us actually focus on actually coming home to help ourselves. Ghana, the way we portray Ghana, is not what it is. We can all make it better. For example, people are talking about crime rate, and I commend the new IGP for once. I have confidence in the police system. Even me, when I'm driving now, disciplined. Okay, I'm disciplined even though I'm a government official. I can still be arrested for falling foul of the law. And it's taken one person, Dr. Dampari, to actually instill that discipline. Hitherto we had rifles, and last week I was driving around Accra and I saw a lot of dogs with police men, women in the streets, and then every vantage point I saw policemen with rifles and all that. I mean, that gives us some confidence. So if you're an investor and you want to invest in Ghana, then things are getting better. You need to come in. And also, if you, for example, if you go to the trade ministry like this, they have resource centers across the country where if you want to do business, you can go in for advice. And these are things that were here in this country. For example, the NHIS, we had the NHS here. It was actually the free education to the basic level. We have some level of education that is free. And so you realize that most of the things are coming from the Western world, where we're actually replicating them and making sure that it applies to our culture. So my message to each and everyone here is that Ghana is all that we have. You can have a British passport and all that, but you need to look at the heritage and then come and support us. And under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, whom I believe is going to hand over to another MPP person, we'll get Ghana there. Because you know, when we were fastest growing economy and the NDC took over, I remember Intercredit, Stellar Logistics and all that, all of these companies left Ghana to Ivory Coast until MPP came back, and then they started coming back to Ghana. So it means that MPP has something special.
Okay. Sir Dr. Charles Bissue, so I got that one right. Yes. Thank you very much for gracing our studios with your presence. We are so grateful to you. We hope that you come back pretty soon that we can have a chat about your prospect of being the general secretary. Okay. Or the women's organizer. So let me say thank you very much. But KB, your closing remarks. I know that this evening you are coming on with the property hour. What are we looking at tonight on the property hour?
Yes, tonight we diving into the budget that was read yesterday. With regards to how it's going to affect the property industry. So there are challenges, but we need to dive deeper into it. So make a date with us. It's going to be good. And also, let me say, I wish my brother here all the best for his general secretary. I mean, if
he hasn't said that too.
I am proposing.
I am bestowing on him.
Yes, but I am
himself. Let's quote him.
He said, wait when the time comes.
But Frank, the way he's saying it is motivating me.
That is what I'm saying. That you should have allowed.
But he hasn't said that. Politics is very dicey.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that I wish Doc all the best.
If he should go for the general secretaryship.
No, I'll not use your word. So if he gets to the crossroads and he wants to overcome the incumbent, he should call upon me. I know what to do.
But what he's saying now, has the incumbent told you that he's contesting again?
That's a very good question. But
so at that point, when the nominations are open, then it means that there's no position. You understand?
Yes.
So the incumbent hasn't said that. Don't put words in his mouth.
I'm not.
He might not even go.
And besides, now that the women organizer is there, why not?
Anyway, if I can,
we are debating the gay issue, so we are now neutral.
Gender neutral.
Gender fluid.
Okay, gentlemen. Let me say thank you very, very much for this wonderful time. Thank you very much to my colleague, Mr. Frank Davis, who was behind the scenes. People were asking, where is Frank? Yeah, he was behind the scenes. He was pulling all the knobs during the production this afternoon. And Francis Gaye as well, back there, sending us all some of the questions that we were putting across as well. I want to say thank you very much to you, and a special thank you to Sir Dr. Charles Bissue. Okay, we we hope to see you pretty soon, as I said earlier.
The titles.
The titles keep on coming in, yeah. And thank you very much to KB, who also joined me this morning. It's been a pleasure coming your way. Tomorrow will be coming your way with the Friday edition of the morning show. But remember, this afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, the renewed show will be coming your way with Charlotte Odum. Charlotte Odum will bring you the renewed show. And since today, they are looking at what? Healing. Divine healing. Yeah, I hope I got it right. Yes, divine healing going to be coming your way. And then after that, at 6 o'clock exactly, we'll be bringing you BB Means Business, a repeat broadcast of what took place last Tuesday, and then will be followed by the one and only Property Hour. And today, as Bossman said, we are going to be looking at how the budget is going to affect your property or the property industry. Thank you very much. Kofi Nyako, aka Blueprint, says what? Charles Bissue, submissions is on point. He should keep up. He shall definitely be our next general secretary.
You see?
And on that note, I say, have a lovely afternoon.
The prophecies.
Prophecies are now being interrogated in Ghana.
Yes.
Somebody else. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I was going to say the new IGP. Every Ghanaian should support him.
Yeah.
He's done what, I mean, since the birth of Ghana.
IGP has done.
Even no president has ever done that. So we should support.
Cracking the whip.
It's great. Great.
Okay, so I bring you the song from the Western Diamonds. I should have asked my guest. Kofi Kinata. Yeah. Kofi Kinata. Okay, we take a commercial break. I'll bring you Kofi Kinata before we go. Okay, we'll bring you something from Kofi Kinata.
Western.
Okay.
If you're in your house in Ghana, then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
This is Starr Radio UK. Broadcasting live online.
So the phone progress with your phone now while I guide it. This is the question. What can they mean? They mean I'm in care when you put the phone. So the phone progress with your phone now while I guide it. Charlie, my man, when I'm American, I am in America. Hey, I'm going to win some yelling in Anayaka. It's it, but the mass of being a Namina. I am such a name. Also, I'm in the baby da. Some yard party. Namina was some yard out. Yamia was still. Watch a guessy for heart. No, you're over Yamia was still. What's the bet you go get? Mama, Tafu, Yansroya. Mama, I saw them. I don't know. Mama,
turn it up.
As you see, what you what can they mean? The phone. So the full pack of the phone now while I guide the doors. It's so much of the phone. What the kind of baby we have in there? What you do there on the phone? So the full pack of the phone now while I guide the doors. Yeah, oh, be my soul, oh, yeah, no, yeah, no. See, mama,
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio, broadcasting live online Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckler, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well lamb shapers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
You're listening to the sounds of Trinidad and Tobago with DJ Nasty Nige.
Like a new machine, photocopy, oh. You send me love, you give me pressure. Love never sober, we never sober. And you know we end up going low. Never, 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 never,